Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll post-credit show for March 2nd, 2019. We're still here.
What is that?
I was showing off the post-credit show.
Oh, I thought that was directed at me.
I also
Ross,
thought that.
or-
We've talked about movies we've played, movies we've played, movies we've watched, games we've played, and other sort of nerd stuff we've done.
If you play Bandersnatch, you've played a movie.
I have not. I still have not watched. I have not been on Netflix since last week when I watched those 2 episodes of Haunting of Hill House, and I have not gone back because I have been busy.
You've been busy.
I have play-watched Bandersnatch.
I watched Bandersnatch.
I got a new FMV game for my computer
I love
from the Humble Bundle.
So cool. So
Choose which way to
welcome
go.
to the Barrel Roll post-credit show. My name's Tony.
I'm Nick.
Chris.
Ross.
Let's get this show on the road.
Sure.
Anyone want to
Who
go?
wants to start?
I'll go. I'll be quick because I didn't do a whole lot. Well,
Neither
I
did
did. I did stuff.
Neither
I
did
watched
I.
things. I watched the Fire Festival Netflix documentary.
That documentary about that festival that went to
Shit.
junk. Yeah.
It went to garbage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The
Set
Ja
on
Rule
fire.
one or something.
Yeah.
So it was the really, really expensive music festival that just became complete trash. It was a fun documentary.
It's supposed to be a fun documentary.
I
Pretty
mean,
much for the sole fact that, you
it's-
just get to watch
You
this.
know that this entire thing is the entire music thing is a sham, and just watching them advertise and make marketing for this thing that does not exist.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I know that the Netflix, Amazon's got their own Fire documentary as well.
Oh, okay.
And so they both came out around the same time. They both have different angles on it. I think the Amazon one, they actually got Billy, the guy who masterminded the entire festival. They actually got him to do interviews for that one.
Okay.
But I don't have Amazon Prime, so I didn't watch it.
Good reason.
The Netflix one was really, really funny because everyone got that meme about the guy who almost went down on another dude for bottles of water.
Yep.
Alright.
It's
Okay.
He was working for the people.
Out of context, it's crazy.
He's working for the people who are doing this festival, and they're like, "Oh, the water didn't show up." But there's this guy. It's stuck in customs.
Yeah, it's still the waters are stuck in customs, and they phoned him up and said, "Hey, I can't remember what his name is. Like,
Yeah.
you need to come down here full on, and go down on this guy so that he can release our water." And so what I did, I cleaned myself up. I mouthwashed, drove all the way down and flew all the way down to the island just to meet the customs officer, and the officer's like,
Here you go.
"Here you go, just sign the paperwork and just make sure I get the cut later."
There's legitimately nothing in this world that could make and not just like perform that kind of act on another guy, like that kind of act to get something.
Yeah.
just to release bottles of water for this festival. That
Like I don't
does
care,
not-
man, woman. Like
It doesn't matter.
No.
It's just like
I am not selling my
No.
body for bottles
the
of
fact-
water to make it through customs.
Yeah.
Maybe really
It's
good
so
bottle of
crazy.
water.
Well,
No job is worth that.
and I guarantee
There's
you,
no water worth that either. I'm just.
if it is worth it, you're not trying to get the water.
Here's the crazy part. I don't think that custom officer got paid. I don't think he got.
No
his
one
cut.
got paid.
No one got paid out of that entire festival. It was a complete.
So he got his
sham.
cut then.
He did. He got his percentage.
Yeah.
He got his cut.
Nothing.
He got, but they
100% of zero is
Zero.
still zero. Yeah.
Zero.
He got what he asked for.
Yep.
Apparently, yeah. No, watching that documentary was just an eye-opening experience of like, wow, this looks like a post-apocalyptic world. When people are trying to find a tent to sleep in. There's scenes where the guy's like, I wanted to make sure I had my own tent in my own area, so I ended up like taking mattresses out of the other tents and throwing them out. Some guys started peeing on other mattresses so they wouldn't sleep next to us. I'm like, what is happening here?
Imagine us all going to an island and they're just like, fend for yourselves.
Just to be
Are we
clear,
starting to pee on each other's mattresses so you go away?
Pee on the other people's mattresses so
So
they
then-
go away. We mark
Hello.
our territories.
hello,
Hello,
Alright.
Golden Nugget.
And just to be clear, people paid thousands upon thousands of dollars for these tickets
Mhm.
Yeah.
for this music festival that never happened. It's wild. I didn't even know this thing existed.
I didn't know either until this documentary came out.
Yeah,
like,
and I think that's just us being in Canada. We don't really get we don't get that up here.
Maybe.
I'm
that
also
kind of
not
marketing?
into the music portion of that kind of stuff.
I saw something about it when it happened, but I had no idea about the festival until after
After the
there
fire,
was no festival.
after the fire that happened,
Yeah.
they were marketing it way more than they needed to. They were going to use Pablo Escobar's old island, apparently, in
Yep.
the Bahamas. and they couldn't get that either. Bunch of bands started dropping where they're like, we don't want to be a part of this, goodbye.
And bands, like real
Yeah,
bands.
exactly.
Yeah, very, very, like, I think it was like Sum 41 or something like that dropped.
Blink
Oh,
182.
Blink 182, yeah. They dropped really, really early on where they were like, you know what, we can't provide you the concert that is up to our standards, so we will see you guys, bye.
Yeah.
And yeah, slowly and surely, tons of bands and tons of DJs started dropping like flies.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. And the fact that they oversold everything
Yeah.
is the crazier part of an entire festival. Like, it's like, if you paid for this, the $20,000, well, hello.
Jeepers creepers.
If you pay for the $20,000 package, like, you're going to get, like, an island.
That was loud.
You're going to get this beach house for you and, like, 5 friends and blah, blah. They couldn't get them.
Thanks, Golden Nugget, for the
Apparently,
follow.
apparently there was, like, a lockbox of keys for all of the houses that they rented, and the owner, Billy, lost it. So he lost the keys to all of the houses for the islands. That's
One
like
big gong show.
I'm like,
Really?
what is going on here? Like, there's no reason this should exist.
Yeah.
And it happened.
It's one mess after the other. That's
Yes.
essentially what that documentary is. It's like, we have this really cool idea.
It was in essence, it would have been amazing if it was properly planned out. And I think they only had like 6 months of full on
That
planning.
might be what
That's probably
issue.
why things
You
went
need to
wrong.
plan that like a year minimum in advance.
Oh, sure, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, and
of
especially
organizing.
when it's the first time too. Like,
You're-
Takes time.
you know, if you're,
You start this big
yeah,
Yes.
and work your way up. Like, Woodstock was not, Woodstock.
Woodstock was an anomaly as well too.
It was, and it was a different time.
And that they were trying to.
They were trying to emulate Woodstock, and
What was that artist?
they forgot
that was
that
like-
drugs are different now.
A little bit.
Yep.
Well, legitimately, Woodstock is a bunch of hippies who are legitimately there to have a good time
yeah.
And marketing.
and peacefully do their thing and,
And
rock
marketing-
out to some killer music.
Marketing.
Free meth.
Yeah.
Marketing
You know,
and advertising.
LSD and weed, where it's like, okay, guys, like, whoa, is everybody else seeing bunnies in the clouds? Meth, it's like, I could probably kill that person if I tried hard enough. Like,
I could be really concentrated about it.
how fast do you think I could do it?
Time.
How many times? How many times do you think I can do it?
How long do you think it would take you to rip through this mattress?
How
With
many-
what?
I need to pee. I need to pee
My
through this
teeth.
mattress. Do you think I can pee through this mattress?
Clearly, none of us have done enough drugs, because I'm pretty sure that's not how they work, but still.
Yeah,
Close
I
enough.
have no idea.
No.
I'm
Close.
okay with that.
Yeah, that's one of
Our
Asterisk close enough.
imagination is good enough.
Yeah.
Asterisk close enough.
I can imagine, and again, it's funny.
Marketing
because-
and marketing word of mouth is wildly different from Woodstock too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
in this day and age where you could just tell, what was it, they got Kylie Jenner or something Jenner to?
Sure, all you gotta do is have a tweet out from
Yeah.
an actual person.
They
and
spent
we're-
they spent like $50,000 just to have her
So
tweet out.
that's
this
what we
thing.
need to do. We need to.
We've
get
had the famous person retweet us. Thank you very much.
Nathan Fillion?
No.
No, it was Mark Mir, right?
Oh yeah, he's also retweeted us. The lady who did the voice for Life is Strange, she plays The Sims. She totally retweeted us one night when we were like, "We're playing The Sims. You should come watch." And it's like, I'm like, "Who is this random person?" And it's like, she has like the Life is Strange stuff on her thing, and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. She likes Life is Strange." And then in her bio thing, it was like voice of main character in Life is Strange, and I'm like,
that was a
Yes,
great game.
We made it.
"Yeah, well, Nick's done.
Mark Mir
Retired."
Mark Mir's pretty cool too. That's
Mark
fun.
Mir locally is yes, and BioWare is very yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch Fire. What is it? called?
Fire.
The Greatest Party That Never
Never
Happened
Happened.
is what it's called.
Yes.
I'm not sure what the Fire Festival on Amazon documentary is
I
called.
always
but
forget I have
I want-
Amazon Video.
I do want to watch
Well,
that
you
one
gotta
just to
watch it for
compare
us now.
the two of them. I'm sure I can find
I'm waiting
it.
for the Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings stuff, man.
There's a way.
I'm sure I can find it.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's a
worried.
way. There's
I'm
always
never. I'm never worried. I also finished Kimmy Schmidt, the final season on Netflix, and I can safely say that they ended that series well.
Well, they knew it was ending.
They
so-
tied off all the knots that they needed to do. Everyone basically got a happy ending except for the Richard Wayne Gary
villain.
Wayne, who wasn't in the final season. Weirdly enough, they relegated him off to like a news article. I guess they probably couldn't get the actor back or something.
I was gonna say that's a contract thing. Yep.
Yeah, usually that's what happens.
But
Yeah,
it's
it was-
scheduling conflict.
But it's very much, it's Kimmy Schmidt. If you watch the first season or two, it's basically that, except it finishes off her character arc.
Nice.
She ends up making a book and trying to get it published, a kid's book for that matter. So it's really, really cool. I
How
liked
not to
it.
get trapped in a
It was funny.
vault.
Hmm?
How not to get trapped in an
No,
underground.
it was a kid's. So she ends up writing a book in the end of last season. It's like a kid's book about making sure you make friends. She wants to make sure everyone's doesn't want to get angry in the world. I don't know why she wanted to make this book, but she just did it. I don't know, maybe she was on drugs or something.
My
At one
sim
point-
has written 2 kids' books.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your sim is an author.
Where's the poop? And where's the piddle?
Good calls. Good titles.
What's the follow-up?
I wrote a short
Where's
story.
the
I wrote
shark?
a short story called "The Really Talky Lung" instead of "The Telltale Heart."
What you need
Alright.
to do is write a follow-up story called "I Found the Poop."
Where's the shark?
That'll be my first novel.
Where's the shark?
Yeah.
Where's the shark?
No, that'll be my first novel for like all those kids who grew up with my children's books. All of a sudden they'll be like, "Ooh, he's got a new book out, and it's meant for
Mature.
it's meant for teens." Yeah, I found.
And then the last
And
movie
I
that
didn't like it.
the last movie that I watched was The Quiet Place.
Good film.
So good, so much, so
Much
intriguing,
for our plan.
I
Everybody
have not watched
it
that
now.
one yet.
so intriguing. It is so intriguing. What like
Two.
what?
Blame Brian. He watched it first.
Watch
it's
what?
Brian's fault because we were gonna watch it together as a foursome, and Brian watched it without us.
Okay, then I blame him.
Yeah, I'm blaming Brian on this
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah,
He-
sure.
Also, one, he's not
Sure.
here, so I
It's
can blame him.
really
without being
easy to
defensive.
blame Brian.
Here we go.
Yeah, but 2, he watched it first. It's his fault.
And then you
You
watched
didn't
it,
have to watch it.
and then I watched it.
Yeah.
Is it still on Netflix?
It is still, and that's where I found it.
Oh, is
Okay.
it?
It is where I,
I just
found
bought
it.
it 'cause
There,
I'm like, whatever.
there is the something.
I enjoy those 2.
Yeah. Speaking of Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, the dynamics in this movie between those guys, that's so good.
Well, and the story for that one's really funny because Emily Blunt, she's like, I never want to work with my husband. Like, I don't want to cross that line. And then he was working on the script. Like, he got sent the script for it, and he was like tailoring it and touching it up. And she's like, oh, my friend would be like, or no, before they got the script, and he was kind of just describing it. And she's like, oh, my friend would be perfect for this role. So they called her. And she's like, yeah, I'll take it. Sounds like a great job. And then they got the script to the house, and Emily Blunt was reading it because, I mean, it's there. And, what's she going to do? Spoil her husband's movie?
Yeah. That's,
So she's reading it, and she goes, never mind, hire me.
and
Or a friend.
And I don't remember reading this. I remember reading it somewhere. One of the kids actually is deaf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl who's...
The girl's
yeah.
actually okay. So that's,
So she taught them some sign language, and then they had an actual person come in to teach them
so
sign language. And the cool part is they all learned a little differently, because without giving too much away, John Krasinski's character is the dad trying to keep everybody alive. Emily Blunt is supposed to be the loving mother who's trying to keep everybody calm, and you can see that in the way that they actually do their hand gestures. And apparently people who know American Sign Language, it is his commands, even when he's saying stuff, is very like...
blunt.
Mhm.
No pun intended.
No pun. Yeah, and then hers are all these nice, like, even if she's saying the same thing, her movements are softer and everything
Yeah.
is. And his,
It's a-
obviously, he can't make smacking noises, but, like,
He stops right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that movie is so cool. I think I would rewatch that again in a heartbeat.
There are pieces of it where I got, but
You're
most
right.
of it was good. Yes, the parts where we discussed it last night without giving stuff away here, yes, that
There
was
is-
what bugged me. Otherwise, it was good.
Yeah, and there's easy ways to change that scene.
Yes. I'm glad it was not a Cloverfield movie, though, because it was supposed to be a Cloverfield
Yes.
flick.
Yeah, everyone was confused when they were marketing
Everything's
it.
a Cloverfield.
Well, no, the studio got it, and they were looking at the script, and they're like,
We could
Cloverfield this one?
I'm glad they're not.
So thankful they didn't,
Yeah.
because it's a good...
Cloverfield needs time to like stew a good movie. Not this one.
Cloverfield needs J.J. Abrams to actually
Come
do
back to
another
it?
movie, yeah,
Rather than just throw money at it.
other than just buy a script and be like,
Let's take
Let's-
Cloverfield onto it.
yeah.
No.
Like 10 Cloverfield Lane was such a good movie until
Tra-
the Cloverfield. And then it's like, why? There is no reason for this.
Fun fact: Dan Trachtenberg. We didn't. I don't know if you guys talked about this on a week. He's tasked with the Uncharted movie.
Yes, we talked about that one, I
Dan,
think.
the guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay.
He is on track for directing the next Uncharted film.
The only Uncharted film
The next one.
We don't know when that's coming. Is that the
that'll
Tom
never
Holland one?
come.
This is Uncharted 2 is
Super
coming. Uncharted 2.
I only watched 10 Cloverfield Lane for John Goodman and was not disappointed.
That movie was so good.
I've yet to really be disappointed by John Goodman.
You can't be.
No.
Like,
That's honestly why I'm more excited since Roseanne got kicked off her own show and John Goodman is now the main star. I'm like, should I
might
watch The
this
Connors?
now.
Yeah. Like, I watched the first episode of Roseanne going like, all right, it's Roseanne, like it was back in the 90s. But and John Goodman he's like, well, I'm going to get a beer. And he disappears into the garage. And you're like, good, that a boy. Good job. But without her now, I'm like, could could actually be a decent show.
Yes.
Yes, give me more. John
Definitely,
Goodman.
just do it. Just watch that movie. I almost wanted to watch it with headphones on, just to get that silence around me, but
Yeah.
but the fiance was like, "Oh, we'll watch this." I'm like, "All right, we'll rewind it." Because yeah, the
Oh.
scenes with the deaf kid changes a lot.
Yeah. My
It was
wife
really,
doesn't do
really
scary
good.
movies, so I just sat downstairs with the lights off and watched the movie with the
It
dog
wasn't
next
that
to me.
scary.
It's not a scary movie. It's a thriller.
It's very much Bird Box.
It's a thriller.
It's very much Bird Box.
Like, oh
It's
no,
like a thriller?
are they going to die? Yeah. Da-da-da-da. Except
Wow.
without the music.
Wow.
Man, I would totally love to see that monster
That'd be a
dance to the
weird-
Thriller.
Huh?
That'd be a weird video.
I would love to see the monster dance to the Thriller. Just saying.
People doing the thriller dance with no music at all, and they can't make any stomping noises or anything.
That's okay. Like, and when they
Stop
clap,
there.
when they clap, they have to go like.
That's what I mean. It's a cool, and it's one of those movies where it's like,
It's
you guys had
tense.
to think very hard about.
There's a lot of deliberate scenes, like for example, when he's lighting the lighter, he doesn't want the sound of the lighter to go off, so he like covers it real quick. Like
Yeah, good thought processes for a lot of stuff, but
very well. That movie was very well thought out.
Yeah,
In terms of movies, that's all I did. In games, I did a little bit of Apex with you guys last night.
yeah.
That game is super. I still love it. I love that game.
Well,
Even though we're not good, I still love it.
Hey, we came in like 4th place last night.
From hiding,
Shh.
we hid on a
That's
toilet.
part of the game.
We hid in a
We al-
tower.
I also found my new favorite character, Pathfinder.
Yes. Yeah, you're the robot now.
Basically, Chappie. There's a. Have you seen Chappie?
Oh yes, I've seen.
There's a
There's a
character
Oh,
that's,
yes.
that's basically Chappie with a zip line.
Okay.
And he'll shoot the zip line and be like, "Here we go!" I'm like, "Oh my god, you're about to shoot someone to death, and you're so happy about it. This is the best."
Well, it was funny because Brian and I went to play Anthem, and the servers died as we were like opening the game. So we're like, all right, cool. Thanks, brand new game. They updated and broke things.
Yay.
They fixed them.
That's
But
good.
then we switched over to Battlefront 2, and we both remembered we couldn't fly in that game because we'd been playing Anthem. So no, you go to press buttons because we
You
had
have the
switched off
muscle-
Anthem.
You have the muscle memory.
Well, yeah, so you're going off muscle memory from playing Anthem, and you're like, this is not how this get. Like, I'm a stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
This is not okay.
Well, you could be a jetpack person.
You could be the jetpack person, but then we switched off and we were playing Apex, so we got one round in. And Tony's like, "Are you guys Apexing?" And it's like, "Yes." And we honestly hadn't even thought about messaging anybody because we had been jumping games like stupid people. Because we were just like,
Well,
Not
when I
were
message
homework-
anybody.
you were home working.
I was at a hockey game.
Wait, that's
actually,
why I
which
know.
is-
and I just finished watching the film, so I was like,
Yeah.
and my fiance's like, "What are the guys doing?" I'm like, I don't know. And I saw
Just
it.
check Apex.
Yeah.
Because
Now I
we had
can
started
play.
on Anthem, but
Now I can play.
I know you can.
Apex.
Apex, but yeah,
Except
it's,
Apex is a 3-person team.
I know. That's what
we'll
bothers
just have
me.
to trade
Which ties
off, it's
into
fine.
mine
We'll trade off.
a bit.
But either way, Apex was yeah.
Super-
We're getting used to parts and
I
pieces of it.
Super
but-
love it. And then I played. Finally, came out in Canada and the rest of the world. Dragaria Lost, which is the
Yes.
mobile phone game from Nintendo. It's a dragon mobile free-to-play game.
Okay.
It's basically a short burst dragon action adventure game where you move your character up with thumb, you tap the screen to attack, and you have special cooldowns on attacks. You can transform your character into dragons. There's apparently this big long story in the game. I haven't really gotten to it yet, but I think it's the game that I've been waiting for. It's very anime. It's basically all just
Right
like
up
a
your
giant.
alley.
It's basically a giant anime game, which I'm totally okay with.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
Also, being free to play doesn't hurt it either.
Microtransaction.
There is tons of microtransactions in there, but I haven't yet felt them. It's another one of those games where it's like, oh, you've got energy meter, and as you play through the game, your energy goes down. But I've got so much energy that it overflows my meter. So it's like, oh, you have 40 out of 20.
And
Keep playing.
once you're hooked, that'll end.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It'll get there. But thankfully, the story is actually, there's an actual story in it rather than all those other free-to-play games where it's, finish first 5 chapters
Yeah.
and then you're out of energy.
Yeah.
But there's actual voice acting in it, which is
Nice.
really, really, really cool. And yeah, I've been waiting for this game for a long time to come out in North America, or in Canada for that matter, because
So it's worth the wait.
it's definitely worth the wait. I
Nice.
mean, I feel like I've been missing out a lot because there's so many events that are happening right now where it's like, oh, now the Void event is happening. Make sure you do this scene here, and I'm like, but I can't get there yet. I'm still in like the first chapter. assholes.
Get past the first.
I'm
chapter.
working on it. What's really cool about it is I'm told at some point in time you can actually play co-op. So you can actually have multiplayer in this free-to-play game, and you're all going on the map attacking. It's like a Diablo style over the top-down action game. So, and it is free-to-play on phone, on Android and iOS. So
Nice.
it doesn't matter which platform you're on. And it's a good, quick. Every level's like maybe 3 minutes long. It's not like it's a huge time sink. Yeah, I really love it.
Nice.
It's colorful. It's kooky. It's Japanese. It's what I had hoped for when they announced it, and then it never came out in Canada.
Now it has.
Now it has.
Now it is here.
And I am playing it a lot. So I think I'm on chapter 2. So I'm looking forward to the multiplayer stuff.
Nice.
Which is really, really, really cool. I know my fiance has also been looking forward to it as well. But yeah, that's basically what I've been up to this week. I've come off of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm kind of looking for another game. I'll probably just do Horizon, so finish that up. I'm eyeing that. I did pick up Star Trek Bridge Crew for the PlayStation VR.
It's the VR.
It's VR.
Yeah, but I don't think it was that great.
No, it was great. It actually is.
I was gonna say it got good reviews.
It got good reviews.
It
It's
was that great.
Well, because legitimately,
It looks
you can
like
go from
junk.
being you can go from being either the captain or you're Sulu. Like
you can be the guy that is in charge.
we need to go to hyperdrive.
Yeah, or you could be the guy that's in charge of like the weapons, like fire the torpedoes, and then you have to hit the torpedo button.
Yeah.
And you can actually see each other in virtual reality. So that's really I'm interested in giving it a go. So
Cool.
I'll let you guys know how that works. I haven't put it in yet.
I watched the new Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm behind.
What? The new season's out?
It's on
It's been,
NBC.
it's been out for a while now. It's like 6
I actually
episodes.
I watched it on TV.
So 6 episodes deep.
How many episodes are we in?
6 or so.
7?
Okay.
It's been renewed.
Good to know.
So
Did you
fun
watch?
news.
Did you watch that video of them
Announcing that,
it to the actors? That was cool.
Yeah,
that was
so
fun.
they've been renewed for another season on NBC, which is
Yeah.
awesome. But they've done this episode was one of those, like they did the Rosa coming out episode sort of thing, where it wasn't the main story, but it had that ebb and flow, and then her parents were there, and it was one of those touching moments. The same one, Moo with Terry Crews and getting arrested, like stuff as a black cop.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is one of those more deeper episodes.
Oh, okay.
Not
I like
Um,
those episodes.
This one is.
I like that they're
I
not
don't want
afraid to
spoilers.
experiment.
Well, no. So legit, the is a woman gets sexually assaulted at a place, and Jake and Amy are on the case.
Okay.
I like that they're not afraid to.
So
dive
they're going
deep into
for,
that stuff.
and this one is directed by the girl that plays Rosa.
Oh,
Okay.
is it her first go around?
It's her first directing role.
Sweet.
So there's the side story that goes on that keeps everything light and breezy, and then there's Jake and Amy dealing with the whole. It's it's the Me Too episode that they're calling it,
Yeah.
but well done, well handled. The writing team for Brooklyn Nine-Nine better never leave Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because
That-
that's when that show is going to go downhill.
Well, and that's one thing that show does better than pretty much anything else on TV. It like they hit those really sort of like hard to watch, gritty type stories.
Yeah.
And they do it well.
Very
Yep.
topical stuff.
Yeah.
And they handle it super.
Well, and they handle it without pushing it and shoving it down your throat. Because again, I think that it helps that Jake's learning half the time.
Yeah.
Because that was even this episode where, like, you know, two women are having a conversation and Jake's kind of stuck in between, just like, okay, do I? I'm just gonna listen and take this in, everybody. Like, but he's making the comments under his breath at the same time, so that you're sitting there going like, okay, this is a serious conversation, but I can still giggle at Jake because
Yeah.
he's trying desperately hard to understand what is going on. So it's like this works. It's on episode. This was episode 8.
Ah,
So we're
okay,
8
okay.
deep into, I believe,
13?
18 episodes. No, they got an extra 5 episodes.
Oh, did they?
this
Okay.
season.
Yeah.
So I think they're at 18 episodes for this season. Because NBC wasn't sure when they picked them up.
I got some catching up to do.
Yeah. 9.
I think
I'll wait for Netflix.
I'm on episode. Yeah, they announced season 6 is going on Netflix. So
Yeah. Well, of course it will. 'Cause-
I'll wait.
Maybe I'll just wait for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way,
yeah, I think I'm 4 episodes in.
moving to NBC, I was like, "Ro, no, are they moving? Like, is stuff gonna go
No.
horribly wrong?"
No.
But they've changed
Very
nothing
little.
other than they can bleep out. Fox doesn't allow bleeping.
Okay.
So you can't say a swear word and bleep it out. You just have to avoid the swear word altogether.
Yeah.
So they've played with that one a couple times where
This
someone
girl
will
needs
drop
a-
like an F-bomb and they'll just bleep it out.
Now, is it like
This girl needs
A
an A in her
bleep, or is
C.
it one of those ones where
No,
like,
they'll legit just bleep because someone will
Okay.
stand up and
What
just
was that
be
one
like,
where they were
what the?
On the
And
honeymoon,
beep.
Amy was like, "This girl needs an A in her C or something like that."
Yeah.
Or a C in her
This
A.
this girl needs a
C in her A.
No, this B.
This B needs a C in her A.
A.
And they'd like Andy Samberg's
Andy-
characters,
yeah.
like just full out says everything, and she's like, "No, I need a coconut in my arms."
And he gives her this look like, what? He's like, and she's like, what did you think I like meant? And he's like, well, this beep needs a beep in her beep. And she's just like, and he's like, that was, I know.
It's like, no, I just need a coconut in my arms. It's great.
And I think the funniest gag at the beginning, well, one of the funnier ones, because again, this episode had some good ones, but they got rid of Hitchcock right at the beginning of the Me Too episode.
Oh God. I feel like that's probably a really
idea.
good idea.
yeah. You can't really write him into that episode.
They were
and
handing
not-
out the assignment, and he was going to say something, and Holt's just like, take 3 days off.
Yeah, that would have ended poorly if he was.
And then he
involved.
makes his comment that makes you giggle more, and he just and it's just like solid move, like way to be, because yeah, you can't write him into that episode.
No.
Scully is safe because
Yeah.
he's very mousy and unoffensive in that
Yeah.
way. Hitchcock though is
He's straight
it's-
offensive.
Well, yeah, legitimately, I'm waiting for him to take his pants off this season because he's waiting. That actor's very scared. Well, because before they had him take his shirt off,
Yeah.
and again, Fox didn't allow you to blur things, so he was always safe because he's like, the most they had me do was take my shirt off. He's like, I'm worried this season because my character really likes taking his clothes off, and now I can get completely naked. TV wise, we've also continued watching Kids Baking Championship.
Mhm.
There's a kid from Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
So there was a kid from Edmonton on last season's. And the kid from Edmonton, I don't know how he kept scraping by. Delightful child. Like, they're great kids, because, again, they're 9 to 13 years old.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time it's like, oh, they're great kids. But he kept coming in, like, second last place every episode. And you're like, you should be off. Like, your cakes are always doing this, or the
Someone's
taste
always
is...
doing worse.
But someone's always doing that much worse. So then he makes it into the final 3, and I'm like, well, he's screwed now, because the other 2 can actually bake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, good for you, you made it to the final 3. The kid from Vancouver, holy smokes, can do some wicked stuff. So he might actually have a shot at this, which is pretty cool. So the 2 people that I'm wanting to win are still in the game.
Is this a Canadian cooking thing?
No.
Or is it just happens to have Vancouver and Edmonton
Yeah,
kids
they
in
they
it?
bring in like the token Canadian kid in each season now. But they had to make desserts that looked like tacos.
Okay.
So everything, all the ingredients had to be made of.
Pancake.
Well, so all the ingredients had to be made out of other like dessert type objects.
Waffle.
So someone made a crepe and then deep fried it, and that made their taco shell.
I make a waffle.
Uh,
Waffle shell.
And then
Dip the
they
tips in
each
chocolate.
got different ingredients that had to go in. So someone had to make like a shrimp taco. So they had to make cakes that looked like shrimp and put it inside and all that jazz. So, and again, these kids are 10 and doing something that
At least they're not forced to make a dessert taco with shrimp in it.
correct. Like, that's, yeah, that's where everything goes really
Because
wrong.
I like
try
shrimp, but I feel like that
I would try
does not
that.
go well.
I would try that.
But you can always tell the kids that are like gonna make it to the finals in this show, because like the one kid makes a salsa, and his is a salsa that's mangoes and raspberries mixed together, but he blends it enough so that it looks like a salsa, so when you dip the taco it's still sweet and
Yeah.
desserty, and you're like, oh, that's so smart. And one of them did like a creme fraiche with honey in it, so it looked like sour cream to put on, and you're just like, damn, like I'd eat that just like out of a bowl.
Yeah.
These kids have more talent than in me in my little.
Well, and then there's the one kid, and you sit there going, remembering it's a kid's show, they tell him to make a beef taco. When he goes, well, tacos at my house, like, I put ground beef in and sour cream, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, so he hands his in, and it's legitimately a puff pastry that he put into the deep fryer. So it's a puffed up, like, shell
Yeah.
with brownie inside of it for ground beef.
Mm-hmm.
With, I think, a marshmallow sauce on the side that was supposed to be the, like, sour
The sour
cream.
cream.
And they're like, where's the lettuce? Where's the color, man? Like, it's yellow and brown with white.
Hmm.
And he's like, well, that's a taco.
And to him,
And
to
the guy,
the kids
and the,
probably.
right? And the guy's sitting there going, "Well, like, where's some reds and some greens? Like, even cilantro. Not doesn't have to be lettuce. Like, color.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a dessert."
Yeah.
Well, but what? Like, you know, other kids are spray painting marshmallows red to put them in there for tomatoes and that
Sure.
kind of stuff. And you're going, all right.
Not this kid though. Apparently, he never had tomatoes on his taco.
Oh, that's gross.
Well, but again, like, that's the piece. Like, I'm sitting there going, no one's putting refried beans in anything. Like, there's,
Good.
like, no one. I love refried beans in a taco.
Good.
But that's what I mean. Like, no.
I would do maybe a caramel,
Lettuce-
like whipped
lettuce I
topping
would
for.
do.
And that's my favorite part about all the baking shows is just like, what would I do? And of course, my wife's a baker, so it helps watching these shows because someone screws something up, and I'm like, why didn't that work?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, they forgot to add butter, and then like 5 seconds later on the show, it's like, didn't work because they forgot to add butter, and I'm like,
You wizard.
and I'm like, I'm ahead of this show. Take that.
I have my guy.
Yeah, I've got my guy at the screen. Thank you very much. We also watched Ralph Breaks the Internet because it just came out on Blu-ray and DVD.
So good.
Good movie. Not the greatest of the
The
films.
last 5 minutes are like, no, not 5 minutes. Like the last encounter sequence is like, this gets weird.
Well, that was the moral piece.
It was.
They
the
had to
moral
fit a
piece.
moral into the movie. They couldn't just keep advertising for Pinterest and Google and
Yeah, YouTube.
no BuzzTube.
BuzzTube,
Because
right?
they had to mix BuzzFeed and YouTube because
Right.
no one gave them permission to use BuzzFeed or YouTube.
I thought YouTube was in there as a logo, but like not.
I think they're in there as a logo, but they
They didn't want. They
Because-
didn't want to get associated with an algorithm.
because BuzzTube works off an algorithm that puts the best movies up to the top, sort of thing, or the most watched thing up to the top.
And YouTube does not want-
continues to say we don't have an algorithm that does that. Like it's based on choice and what people like to watch. It's like
So an algorithm.
not that kind though. Like
So
this
an
one,
algorithm.
yeah, this one's legitimately like we're gonna make this popular today because that's what she does in the movie. Is like we're gonna make Wreck-It Ralph memes the thing for this, you know,
Week.
Mm-hmm.
for this 24-hour period or whatever happened to be. So it's like boop, and it's like YouTube doesn't do that. Good movie, solid flick. Other than that, my weird kind of real life thing, I saw Rick Mercer live. So if you're Canadian,
Oh, how was that?
he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
Pretty cool dude.
What kind of stories did he have?
Well, he just retired
like-
off of the Rick Mercer Report 2 years ago. So his whole thing was traveling across Canada for the last 15 years, looking at regular, everyday Canadians doing their thing. Because when he started the show, that was how he sold it to CBC. Was we're gonna find out what makes a Canadian a Canadian.
Yeah.
And he's like, after I finished season 1, he's like, okay, it might take an extra season to figure this out. And he's like, 15 years later, he's like, I still don't quite have the answer. And he's like, other than that feeling you get when these people are doing their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, because that's what I've gotten out of Canadians is people are doing some of the worst jobs out there, and they're all happy to do them. He's like, I don't know what it is. And he's like, but legit, you know, I've worked at he came to our dump. And he's like, and people were just, he's like, Canadians have the self-deprecating humor, so even the, like, scummiest of scummy jobs, they're like, yeah, that's what I do. And it's like, neat. He talked about, obviously, because I was at a convention for educators, so he talked about school. He's the first comedian to ever do that, so props to him. We saw Brent Butt last year, who spoke about school zip.
Okay.
And then a teacher got up and was like, what was, like, who, did you have a good experience in school, or was there a teacher that, you know, inspired you? No.
Well, do you know where you are?
And
That was one of the best jokes of the entire thing, because it's just like, kudos, dude. There's 2,000 teachers here, and you just said that. Like, props. I'm like third row, like.
Golf clapping. The only person clapping.
Rick Mercer was one of those ones who had that teacher that, like, he'd crack the joke in class that was, like, horribly morbid. And the teacher's like, he thought he was going to get in trouble, and the teacher's like, no, write it down. Like, when you have those thoughts, start writing them, because that's going to propel you somewhere. And then that kind of, like, that was his
That's a good
story.
thought
And then he
process.
joined drama in high school because there was no gay straight alliance, so that was as close as he got. So
Okay.
I'm like, neat. And then other than that, that's how he got his start. And then he saw Canadians making television shows to try and sell to America. So he's like, you'd have all these people making shows in Toronto, but not showing Toronto because they were trying to sell it to the States. So they tried and make it look as New York-y as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I wanted to do the exact opposite. Make a show all about Canada. and like the great things about Canada, and he's like, of course, no one's gonna buy that except the CBC. So he went there, and that's what he pitched. He's like, I want to show off all the great things about Canada, and they're like, so you need what, 10 episodes? That's what they were gonna give him at first, and then it was actually supposed to be an adult show when he started it off, and then he did an episode where, so they had booked a guy because they had celebrities showing how to do mundane things. And it's one of the... So, like, Jan Arden will show you how to, fold laundry.
Okay.
Like, they'll get a famous Canadian to do something, like,
Mundane.
really mundane.
Make
So, for the
coffee.
first season, he wanted this guy, and I can't for the life of me remember his name, but he was more famous 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond, like, before that, he wanted him to roll a joint.
Okay.
That was the mundane task of, like, how to roll a joint. And so they had booked this guy to do this, and then he had done a show where he's like, welcome to Regina, the, city that rhymes with fun. And he got all these complaints because people were watching it with their kids. And he's like, I didn't know the kids aren't supposed to watch this show. So they changed the tune of the show, but by then they already had this guy booked who was rolling a joint. So
Whoops.
he had some really solid stories, but he's been traveling for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. So it's cool. I'd like that
I like
experience would be fun for about 2 months for me.
I'd like to meet him.
He
seems
he
like-
walked right by us because he was off stage, and one of the people I was with was like, "Who's this Rick Mercer person?"
Seriously?
She I think she was born here and moved to the States and has lived in like Wisconsin for a while.
And did you just show her, like, talking to Americans
Well, yeah.
compilation?
And she's like, well, we don't know him in America. And I'm like, some of you know him in America. We make fun of you greatly because of this man right here. And then he walked out from, like, the curtain that was not that far away as I'm like, how do you not know who Rick Mercer is? What is your problem?
As a Canadian?
As a Canadian, I have a right to defend myself now. Thank you very much. He was awesome. I mean, he spoke for like an hour and a half, and I didn't know that an hour and a half had gone by until I really had to pee. Because I'd had a coffee. I'd had my Timmies.
Yeah.
It was a very Canadian morning. I had my Timmies, and it's like, kind of have to pee. Look at the clock, and I'm like, he was supposed to be done 15 minutes ago. But he was cool, like legit. He's a stand-up, really cool dude.
Yeah.
Other than that, game-wise, I watched a bunch of people play Mario Party, the new one for the Switch.
Still need to get
I was not involved, so it was kind of fun just to watch people flail about.
Yell
Then
at
I
each other.
played and I owned everybody because no one else knew how to play the game. That was excellent.
I'll play it online.
No.
They were inebriated.
Oh, here. Oh,
I was
here.
not.
Oh,
They
here.
were.
They also didn't know what they were doing, so I was just like, and here we go. 3 stars to nothing by the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I booted up Battlefront 2 because the new Clone Trooper update came out.
Oh yeah. We should probably do that. Updates won't take
So this has infuriated the rest of the internet. And I know you have watched the Clone Wars and all that stuff.
Yes.
So here's the fun part. Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
what's already pissed people off is in the fights you can, when you get enough battle points, so you've killed enough people, you can unlock a hero, click a button, and all of a sudden Darth Vader is fighting on Kashyyyk.
Yeah. Okay.
Seems-
So it's out of canon.
Yeah.
It's just for funsies. Rey will show up and fight Darth Vader. And you're like, this is like playing with Star Wars action figures and doing our thing.
Mm-hmm.
The newest update has done what a lot of people have wanted. You can now pick between Phase 1 and Phase 2 clone armor.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's all the different battalions that you can buy all the different, like, cosmetic out parts, like outer parts for. So with Anakin coming out, they have released his battalion of stormtroopers
Yeah.
with the Phase 2 armor.
Yeah.
But now you can have Phase 2 and Phase 1 armor at the same time because you get to customize your clone troopers on the clone trooper maps. So now there is a select group of people online who are super pissed because you have like the 91st Battalion fighting with the like 112th Battalion or 121st Battalion or whatever it is. So there's all these different...
So what?
I know, and that's the rest of the internet's like, I get to run around as my clone trooper now. This is the best.
Yeah.
I am so happy.
Why are you mad at here
Because
and not
this-
mad at with Rey fighting Darth Vader?
Oh no, they're like, I came to accept that, but this is too far. And it's like,
They're all white.
what?
They're all a shade of white. Come on, guys. Just take
With
it.
different color stripes though.
Just
The different colored stripes, and
Who
then there's
cares?
a
The
fin
helmet.
versus no fin on the helmet.
Does that give you a tactical advantage?
So
having no.
what?
Yes,
Right.
wind resist.
Like, is the
Give you
game
a-
fun?
Is the
Cool.
hitbox
Do
is
you
the
get to
hitbox
look
larger
cool?
with a fin?
Yeah.
No, you can run faster.
Is the-
Actually, the
is
fin gives a disadvantage. It has a little light on the back.
You can run faster.
You do not run faster with a fin. You just get seen easier by droids looking through the
Does
grass.
it change it? Does it
Oh,
change your
yes,
hitbox?
that's
Does
why.
it make it easier to get the headshot because you're fin?
No.
That doesn't matter.
But that's what I mean. Like, the amount of customization on clone troopers now in that game, from being almost zero to there's tabs now on the clone troopers, like phase 1, phase 2, and armor, and I'm like,
Yeah, you can have a lot of.
Can you get the like Captain Rex skirt thing
not
going
quite,
on?
no.
Oh.
It's there. You can be like part of Captain Rex's team,
Yeah.
but not quite him.
Well, like I don't even need to be specifically Captain Rex.
No-
you just
no
want to
skirt.
have the option for the
We're
clone
getting-
trooper skirt.
Trooper skirts.
The feeling is we're getting closer to that, like backpack customization and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like, we're getting there, which is where, again, people have wanted this game in the first place.
Are
And
there
now people can
jetpacks
play.
yet? Can you play Star
there's
or
always
Arc
been
troopers?
Jetpack person.
There's a jetpack trooper, but you have to get so many points to unlock them.
It's not that many.
Oh,
It's not that many points.
You
Like, they're
will
easy.
allow it.
Yeah.
I thought they just unlocked it by themselves.
No.
No, no,
in
game.
In battle.
In battle.
It's only like.
Like, you have to get 2 kills, and you can all of a sudden be a
Jetpack.
jetpack trooper for that.
It's
yeah.
a pretty lower
you die
tier.
again.
It's a lower tier.
You get a
character.
Wookiee or a...
Unless
you
you
get
get enough kills where you already have that point.
Yeah.
And you can get it again.
a...
I don't do that.
I was so
I
bad
stick with my
yesterday,
heavy.
because I was legitimately trying to fly. I'm a clone trooper, like,
You
hey!
don't play too much of your other game.
Well, because I had just gotten out of that one. My brain, like, my hand function was still going with, like, click this button to, like, do this, and this button to... And I'm like, jump
We
and
have-
hit!
We have 3 different games to play.
Well, then we switched to Apex, and I got even more confused because my brain was slowly switching over to Battlefront 2, and I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Apex was great.
Apex. I like Battlefront 2 as a game.
I think Apex. Is
It
a
was
little bit better.
junk when it came out. It's getting slowly better.
Okay. Apex is great.
Because DICE has actually gotten control of it from EA, which is the big talk. Like, we've had that talk before. But yes, people online, that's my funniest thing. And then we got into a game, and there was a clone trooper in camo armor
Sweet.
and running around with, and I was in like the 91st, I think. It's orange, like orange highlights and that kind of stuff. And someone else was in something, and I'm like, Brian. He's like, what? And I'm like, there is a camo trooper. We must quit. And I'm like, seriously, if there's people like that online, I don't quite understand.
Well, they can stop playing. That's
Well,
fine then.
not
Legit.
only that, but like half the time it's the opposite. Half the time it's like, why can't I customize my character the way that I want to? Why are you giving
Right.
me these
You
limitations?
can't please the internet.
No.
Is the short
Well, and the
story.
best part is some of the like in between kind of people are sitting there going, well, what's the problem with having phase 1 and phase 2? Like, an army doesn't get re-outfitted instantly. There's gonna be times where there's a troop or a specific person, because they're like, the clones did have preferences.
Yeah.
Like, they were clones, but they were all their own
No.
people,
Yeah.
so some of them
Like,
preferred to
they
stay
even
in phase
took on
1
their
versus...
own nicknames and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
So now you can legitimately be that guy.
Yep. Or you be your own, for that matter.
Legit. Yeah.
If
So,
I was a clone trooper, I'd have stickers all over my armor.
Oh yeah.
You
and we
get
can't
noticed.
we're not quite that far right now, but you know,
You
like,
get noticed. Camo.
you can buy the camo
I would
stuff.
be the
So with
camo.
this update, we get Anakin Skywalker in the game as a light side hero,
Yeah.
because they already have
Not
Darth
kid.
Vader on the other side.
Not kid.
The little
Not
mini-
yeah, you're not.
No.
This is
pod racing.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
I know we keep joking that they should just have that and a pod racer as a vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be hero Anakin, and you hit the button, and then you're just this kid, and you got nothing.
Yeah.
But a pod
You're a
racer, you can get a
distraction.
pod racer.
I'm gonna use my metachlorians on you.
Shut up, kid.
You're a
Shut up,
distraction.
Shut up, kid.
But Anakin's in the game now, and people are starting to notice all the little animation tweaks that these guys are putting in. So he has the same jump animation as Darth Vader.
Surprise.
Like, they have the same.
Really?
Ooh.
It's the little touches, right? You're going like, damn. But again,
That's
like, because a
slick.
regular game wouldn't do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Again, like, his lightsaber hits the ground when he goes in for an attack, because as graceful as he is, he's got that anger. We talked about that
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
week when they showed him off. Like, he scrapes the floor with the lightsaber because there's just that little bit, and you're going, putting so much work into these guys.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable, and I'm just happy to see that their game is finally starting to be, I think, the game they wanted it to be.
The game it was supposed to
It just
be.
sucks that they can't sell it for more than $10 now because no one will buy it for more than $10.
But the finding a game though is not hard.
Huh?
Even though it's been out for a while, it's not hard to find a game.
No.
Finding matches, yeah.
No, because they
No.
keep updating. People are into it now.
Mhm.
Like, legitimately, it went to $10 and everybody's like,
Sure.
for 10 Why not?
Like I've already got.
It's got a
the
single player campaign if I
PlayStation
want to play it.
Plus
It's got
subscription,
multiplayer.
so-
It's got a single player campaign, so for $10, even if multiplayer's dead,
not
whatevs,
half
I'll
bad.
give it a go. And it's like, oh, like we find matches
Pretty
fairly quick,
pretty
especially when the
consistent.
updates come out because everybody wants to try out.
Everyone's Qui-Gon Jinn, or not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
They need
Obi-Wan,
to-
Obi-Wan came out
I'm
as
waiting
like
for-
the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Mhm.
voiced by the Clone Wars actor.
Okay.
Anakin's voiced by the Clone Wars actor.
Qui-Gon.
Count Dooku is voiced by the Clone Wars. Like they got all the
I
Clone Wars. guys.
loved Clone Wars Dooku.
Either way, they got.
So
So it looks like Christopher Reeves, not
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves. Sorry,
Yes.
Christopher Lee.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm like, it's a Christopher.
No,
It's one of
not
those-
wrong. Both were dead, but different.
Well, no. So it looks like Lee.
Yes.
But it sounds like the guy from.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Qui-Gon Jinn.
There's got to be a
Qui-Gon.
bad guy next, and that's the next phase. Like we're almost done with the Clone Wars. Like this is the Clone Wars phase being done with now. So
Bad guy.
I don't know who you come up with now. Because
Doesn't-
yeah,
Django Fett.
Isn't he
that's
in
what
there?
people are kind of
Isn't he
no.
already in
Boba's in.
there? Oh,
Boba's in. You got Django though.
Yeah.
Some different weapons.
Grapple hooks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's an
Why
interesting.
not get what character did he play in Solo?
Or Darth Maul's brother.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
but at that point,
Savage
just-
Press.
Yeah.
Because Darth
Yeah.
Maul's in the game. But again, I think that's the fun part of the game is you have Darth Maul fighting Rey
Is
as you run by as a clone trooper going nope 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 nope.
You're right. You're right. Get the. I can't remember the actor's name for the life of me. Plays Vision.
Paul Bettany?
Yeah, Paul Bettany's character from Solo,
Solo?
as the villain, and then
I don't know how much they want to add from Solo.
I liked Solo.
I
like
enjoyed it.
Solo too.
I enjoyed it, but like
There's a few
as a
different
business standpoint,
That's
it's
fair
like
point.
But they already added the young Solo.
I know,
young
like
Lando.
Lando's in there, and he looks exactly like
So this-
Childish Gambino.
yeah, Donald Glover, and you have young Solo that you
So-
can pay a fortune to unlock.
So
and
just do his character, Paul Bettany's character.
I think they
Savage
released this-
Ventress.
yeah, I think they released all the Solo stuff they're gonna release when Solo came out.
I just want Qui-Gon. I just want my
Django, Darth
Qui-Gon.
Maul's brother.
I just want Liam Neeson in the game somehow.
Do Savage Ventress.
Yeah.
Is Ahsoka in the game?
No.
Because that would be a really good matchup,
And
Ahsoka and Asajj.
Yeah, and people are very, again, the internet being the internet. It's like, do we want Ahsoka? She wasn't actually in the films, and it's like,
So what?
and you're like, so what? That would be, and again, how do you get her to look quite right with the? But it's like, they can make her look.
It's
good.
CG,
Yeah.
guys. Just do it.
Because you can't make her look cartoony like she did in.
No.
Yeah,
But she came back in the
Rebels.
Rebels, didn't she?
Yeah.
She looked a little more
Well, she was older.
realistic, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
It's the big Disney eyes that I think she had in Clone Trooper. Like you can't, or in Clone Wars, you can't do
Yeah.
that again.
No.
But
Well, also she was.
I'll take Ahsoka. I would love Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Do
be
it.
so
Do
kick butt.
it. Do it.
But either way, this is kind of like the end of the road for this last,
Season, I guess. I don't know.
not season, but like they do
Era.
their what are they called? Roadmaps.
Roadmaps?
Thank
Okay.
you. Like they do a roadmap of like, hey, this is where we're heading with the game. This is kind of like the tail end of the last roadmap, so we're now waiting for another
Qui-Gon.
communication
Qui-Gon.
from on high.
Which,
Figure out
realistically,
bad
if we
guy.
just did Clone Wars, it'll probably be Rebellion era.
Something like that,
Like,
yeah.
Early Rebellion or right into...
Start putting stickers all over my actual stormtroopers now.
Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon.
Bad
Liam
guy.
Neeson. Liam
You
Neeson.
need a bad guy first.
That's okay.
Yeah, you
Hey,
need some.
no, you don't.
Uh,
Two good guys.
and then Brian and I have played more of The Sims. We built some stuff.
Built a
We
restaurant.
built a restaurant, so that took some time, but we've run out of places to go.
You tried to build a bar. I don't know if I
Yeah, it worked out.
I wasn't in and out of that.
Yeah. It looks like a bar. Here's the problem with like a bar in The Sims, is you can build a bar as an actual building.
Yes.
Do
You mentioned this too. Yeah,
So
you
like
mentioned
my bowling alley is actually a bar. So you can build the bar. The problem with putting a bar into a restaurant is that any sim can then walk around behind it and make drinks. Like
Which
you can't,
never
you can't
made
restrict.
sense to me. If you have a restaurant pack or something like that, you can't.
So
That's
the
a-
restaurant piece is different. They can't go to the kitchen necessarily and
So can you put the bar
cook
behind
something.
the kitchen?
No, because then it doesn't work
I don't
out
know.
that way. But because the bar is legit built as a bar.
But which set did that bar come from, right? Like, it's not. Did it come from the restaurant? Because if it came from a restaurant,
Dine out or get to work. I don't remember, but
that's weird that anyone can just do that.
But with the restaurant, the trick is like you get seated at a table, and from there you click the button and order drinks. So the drinks are just on the menu. You don't actually need a physical bar in the space. You can build something that looks like it, which is what we did, and we're good to go. But so either way, we did that, and we don't know what our next little adventure is, but we'll figure that out. And then
Strangerville came out though.
I know. I don't want to.
Aliens are back.
Aliens and army people and that kind of stuff.
Put a pull up.
I know. I have to figure out what we can do though.
You should get a dartboard with ideas on it.
I legit just look at all the expansions we have and go like, okay, what haven't we done? Because we went to the spa one day. That was relaxing. We learned how to do yoga and got massages and went for mud baths and then hit on some women. And then we went adventuring and Brian almost died in the jungle. He got bit by a scorpion, I think, or stung by a scorpion and almost died. I peed in a bush. We hit on some women.
Where don't you hit on women? Yes.
Legit, I was on a date the one time and I'm like, who's that over there? And like veered off. My sim is horrible.
Yep.
Creepy walk guy.
And then Anthem.
Yeah. That's what you need to do. You need to add
playing.
new characters into it.
Into what? The Sims? Yeah, I'm not adding the creepy clown man. Brian will.
You said I could create a character.
Yeah, you can create you.
So
I walk around like this.
Yeah, you
you
can walk
not?
around like that. You just can't be blue.
No.
I never said I had to be blue.
I was gonna say, I think
Red.
the blue part is the part that
Red.
freaked Brian out the
Red.
most.
Red.
You cannot
Purple.
be red.
Green.
They have been playing Anthem.
Yep.
Yes,
Working my
we
way through
have.
that. I screwed up a little bit and didn't read one of my challenges. So,
They're confusing sometimes.
well, in Anthem, you get both shoulder buttons do something, depending on what your javelin is. So my javelin, at this point, has a poison spray that just does a bunch of burst damage in an arc in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then this button is a poison grenade, so I can launch it from on high, and then I can jump in and start comboing, and because they're poisoned, they have less armor. I do more damage with my melee attacks, that kind of stuff. And you also get guns. You also get both at the same time, and L and R, like L1 and R1, I launch a thing that adds damage when you shoot them.
Okay.
Then you can press up on the D-pad, and that's your ultimate, and it has to build up. My ultimate is I just go slicey-dicey.
You don't fly, but you can slice.
You can, well, and again, you can jump and
Jump.
come down, and
Yeah.
like it does a twirl attack as you like ninja your way down.
Yeah.
I think Brian's Colossus launches like a napalm attack or something stupid. I don't know what it does.
The Ranger kind of does that.
Okay, is that you? Was that you that night that was
Ranger,
destroying everything?
Ranger, you go into kind of a focus mode, and you got to wait till it collects all the guys targeted.
Yeah.
And then your missile, the War Machine,
The War Machine missile thing, yeah.
shoot, and it boom, 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 and then it essentially sets the ground on fire.
Yeah. So they all have their different thing going on. Well, one of the challenges for a cave, I read it wrong because I was just going through it quick, and it's like so many ultimate kills, and I'm thinking like, oh, there's rare and ultimate and legendary bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going around killing stuff for like an hour, and this number hadn't gone up.
Mm-hmm.
I never use my ultimate because I never have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it meant was so
Use
many
your
kills
ultimates.
while using your ultimate, and I'm like, oh, because Brian had already made it through, and I'm like, what? How did you make it in and I didn't? Like, we've killed the same amount of stuff. And he's like, I use that all the time because if you use it when you're near death, it ups your health and your shields back to full, and you
Oh,
don't
okay.
take damage during your ultimate.
For his?
Everybody's.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You might not notice because you're using it from farther away, and
Well,
like,
it
your
zooms in.
stuff's-
I don't see my stats anymore.
Yeah.
I see essentially a scope. And
all I see is 2 bars, but like you can have this much health left, and when you come out of it, everything's full again. So again, I never use it because I play on normal, and I'm not ever really in fear of dying. And
Yeah.
then when I am in fear, I'm like, oh yeah, my ultimate. After 2 minutes of me like running around and flying, trying to dodge bullets, and I'm like, oh yeah, my ultimate. I'll use it. So that's why I had like 31 of 50 kills.
yeah.
And then I got the rest of them, and there's a bug in the game that stops you at 49.
Cool.
So you have to go back to town and go back out in the wild and get the one last one and then come back. So I got that done.
Sounds.
And other than that, I've just been running like all the other errand missions and free play mode and all of that stuff. So
I find with the ranger.
Yeah.
Not much combo.
No, you don't call. You're shooting stuff.
Like, that's my
What's the
problem.
name like a
Well,
ranger?
because there's the challenge. There's the challenges. Not the faction challenges, but there's the challenges.
The
in
tombs.
I don't think it's a tomb. It might be the tombs.
There's tombs.
But it says to do a certain amount of combo
Kills.
kills, and the ranger doesn't really.
What's your melee button do?
I'm sure you
I
can still
really
melee.
haven't used that.
I'm sure you can still
Triangle. That's how you combo.
I think it's a
Get in there
it's
when they're
a-
poisoned and just punch them.
I
Or
don't
when
need-
Brian sets them on fire.
Or I set them on.
Or you set them on fire.
Yeah, you
Or
have to-
they're iced. When they have an elemental attack upon them, hit them.
So
I'll
you have
set
to-
them on fire.
Yeah.
Either that or I need my
Freeze
guns
'em.
to start doing elemental damage.
I think I like freezing things more than setting things on fire.
That's the caped class.
The storm.
Storm.
Lightning.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna make him my Thor character.
I would just go
Fair
like
enough.
Hey, Frosty!
unlimited
Hey.
power.
Is this game just multiplayer, or is there like an offline single player?
my
you can
brother-
do?
It's not offline.
My brother's
But
played
there's
the
single
single player.
Oh, it's only online.
Like, well, when
You
you,
always gotta be-
you
It's like
go into
Destiny.
missions,
Again,
Lame.
Yeah.
you go into missions, you can set it to either there's a
Private.
4-person party
Yeah.
that goes
Private.
at random, or you can set it to private with just you.
Right.
From
But
From
you're
what I've
still
heard, though,
online.
the private is
Lame.
super hard.
So I'd have to buy the game and subscribe to
So
online
online,
play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming off my list.
There you go.
Bummer.
Unless I can play it on PC, in which case maybe.
No, it's an exclusive.
No, you can play it on PC. Anthem's on PC.
Yeah, Anthem's on PC.
Oh no, it's not exclusive.
Let's
Thanks,
see if my
Frosty.
PC can run it. I don't know.
Yeah, that might you did double check that too.
My PC's
I heard the PC version runs really, really well though.
my PC's like 9 years old, so I don't know if
That's
it can
that's
run
you're
it.
cutting it close. You're cutting it close.
I know it cannot run Fallout 4, but that might be setting the bar high. I'm not
no,
sure.
that's
No,
actually
Anthem's a pretty
high end game.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
It's a
pretty
very
high
pretty
end.
game.
I should get back into that. Now I can. Well, because the first night, you, Brian, me,
And
my
your
brother played.
Yeah. I know your brother, I think, was so happy he had people to play with.
Probably. He's such a loner, that weirdo. I say that because he doesn't watch.
Yeah. But no, it was just funny because it's like, you were thinking about getting Anthem. And then I'm like, well, whatever. I was watching enough stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'll jump. And then you came over that day and your brother was essentially like, we need to get Anthem because no one else I know is getting Anthem. And that is
It's a
now why you
multiplayer
have
game.
better internet. So,
No, it's because I complained about it.
well, because otherwise you couldn't play Anthem with him because when we played that
That's
night,
true too.
Yeah, even with Apex that night, you were like struggling.
No, I couldn't even do chat.
oh yeah,
At
no,
that
there
point.
he got booted off chat the one night, and then when we even played Anthem, because him and his brother were both playing off the same internet connection.
Apparently.
Well, no, because it is. They're
Yeah,
going
it's
off the
huge.
same router. You're in the same
Yeah.
place.
It's
Is
huge.
all of a sudden like you hear Chris and he's like, guys, I can't move.
I'm jumping. I'm jumping.
Yeah, I can't. I'm like standing right in front of him, and it's just like, if there was a poke
Where-
emote, it would have been perfect.
We're on my screen. I'm doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I can't move forward.
You were
I'm
doing
bouncing.
nothing on mine.
you're rubber banding backwards. That's
Yeah.
the worst.
He was doing nothing on mine, and it's
That's
just like,
where- that's where I said at one point it's because it's one of the aspects of the game where it's you guys go ahead.
and he'll
When I'm
teleport.
unglitching,
Yeah.
it will tether me back in. It will
Yeah.
catch me back up.
Yeah, on missions it does that. Free play, we can go pretty far from each other.
I don't know.
But yeah, in the missions it keeps you with where the mission actually is going.
Or where the
down.
rest of your party is.
Yeah.
It's a very cooperative game.
Well, it has to be because otherwise, like some of those rooms you get into, Brian and I played privately with the two of us, and yeah, you do some of them, and it's like,
Yeah, so my
we're
brother said
gonna
'cause
get wiped.
he tried the next day by himself.
Yeah.
He set it to private. He's like, you get overwhelmed
Uh-huh.
real fast.
Bad guys everywhere. Gas them.
It's a better multiplayer game.
But the game tells you that.
Oh yeah.
Like you set it to private and you hit launch, and it's like, this game is meant to be played with people. Are you absolutely sure? And you're like, yes! Because I don't want to.
The characters are good in that game.
Huh?
Most of the characters in the game are
Like
pretty
the people
good.
you talk to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's character-driven stuff going on.
The weirdo. That's your
Boyle?
partner.
Oh, Owen.
Yep.
Yeah, Owen's cool.
The awkward guy.
Yeah. There's the guy who spreads rumors around town, played by the guy who does Boyle on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Again, it's BioWare and voice actors, so like once you start looking at the list, like we did last week, there's people,
Yeah.
which is cool. But yeah, online only.
Well, it's not online.
Well, it is. You have to be online to play it.
Well, I guess, yeah,
Because yesterday when the servers didn't work, we could do nothing but look at the title screen.
Sweet.
because it it stops recording for that little intro thing.
it logs
EA's
in.
been
That does
doing very good at that.
nothing.
EA's been doing that a lot with their games. Apex does that too.
When it's logging you in, because
Yeah.
I think legitimately somewhere on that screen is supposed to be like,
It's a EULA or something like that. On the EULA?
well, no, it's not even that. It's where it says connecting.
Yeah.
Right before it does that, that's when it tells you can't, like, it's
Cool.
not going to watch your screen anymore. Legitimately, because I think that's where on a PC or something you would type in your
Oh,
EA info
maybe.
and your password, but
Maybe.
because you're on PlayStation, it just
Automatically.
You're automatically in.
It might be on an Xbox too, then, for that matter.
Wait, so, okay,
yes.
online versus offline. Now here's, I guess, my real question. Do you need to have a PlayStation Plus membership to play
Probably.
it?
Yes, you do.
Because you need to
Online.
be online, so the only way to be
Yes,
online is for
PlayStation
the
4
Plus.
requires a plus.
Because you can, I know that you can sign into your PlayStation account without having Active Plus.
Yes.
Yes, but you're not.
PlayStation Plus is essentially the Xbox Live.
Well, I'm aware of that.
So,
I'm
Well,
just
we
saying
can
I
check.
have the internet connection to my.
I'm pretty sure you
but
do.
it'll.
thing, but
When I was unsubbed for like a month or two, I tried to connect to some online games. It would say like, you need Plus. Goodbye.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would assume you need Plus to play this game.
But
Official confirmation is Anthem will require a PlayStation Plus account to play.
Not playing. Moving on.
Okay,
Well, just with
fine.
PC, if you can.
Yeah.
If you can.
Either way,
check
that's
check
me.
your
There's
system.
no crossplay or anything in
That's me.
there. Yeah, you pretty much covered my gaming.
Sorry.
I haven't done much because,
Apex.
I did one Apex. I don't know how you play those random games.
Why? Just play.
With people.
Just play.
Yeah, with actually good people.
Just
Sorry,
play
no
them.
offense.
I don't know. That was a luck. I rolled it. Okay, so my second game in
It's
Apex.
like I can't play first-person shooters or something.
We're all
We
terrible.
can't.
I
We're
have
terrible.
9 kills, Chris. 9.
I've got
We
4.
can't.
I've
I've
played-
got 4.
I
Wait,
played
hold
with
on.
a random party
6
and
in
I
total.
doubled my kill count.
I've played like 40 games and I have 9 kills. I think I'm doing
I
pretty solid.
I played with one random group and I double my kills with them. And I'm
He
like,
got 2 kills with us yesterday.
Brian
went
wrecked
rage
fate.
mode.
Yeah, he went
Jeepers.
God mode on that team, and then he died. But he still went real far.
I died, and he's like, I will avenge you, and kills the guy.
Yeah.
No, you
were getting attacked.
I dropped down, so I ran around a corner,
Yeah.
or I slunk around a corner.
yeah.
Brian took out the one guy because he had the high ground, reses me back up. We're going through another door. The rest of the teammate comes out.
Yep.
He wrecks those guys. I go down again,
Yeah.
brings me back up, and then I think we finally.
Every time Tony went down, Brian's just like, no. And it's just like,
I think he got like 4,
I think it was 3 kills.
3
yes.
or 4.
Yeah.
I
And then,
don't
yeah, we finally got wrecked. But
Yeah.
I
I
lo-
did
I love
way
it.
better with a random group.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
well, again, because we're also not dicking around.
we're also not very good.
What are you talking? Again, 9 kills. My kill to death ratio is.
I just don't like being told by a
Really
12-year-old.
Yeah.
Get good.
Yeah.
Get good.
That's what I don't like about it. It's
Um,
fun. Like I
the
agree.
group
The
that I
paying
went in-
system is great because it's your
can confirm.
non-verbal way of
Confirming and stuff.
to follow along. It's the
See, the group that I went in, because okay, so the second game that I played in Apex, we won. I have the victory. For
Yes,
something.
you have the achievement.
I
I
came
have
second.
second.
Whatever.
But like the 2 guys that I was playing with, they were really, really nice. They were super chill with the entire.
Oh no, not like this person wasn't nice. It's just the bossiness.
Oh no, I didn't get any of that at all.
See, and I'm okay with bossy as long as it's constructive bossy.
If it's get
Or telling me
where
where
are
I
you
did wrong.
going? Get in this loop.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't do
That's
that.
what that
But if
was.
the guy's legit, like,
that's the
going
only
like,
words
oh,
he
if we
ever
head over
said. He
there,
had
I
them,
know
like,
there's
on.
junk we can pick
That's the
up.
only words he
and
ever
da,
said.
da, da,
Get
da. It's
good.
like solid plan because
Do this.
again, I was
Whatever.
running in
Like,
circles.
but the rest
so.
was pain. Like,
Or like even in
So I just
team
follow
games
their
when
lead.
someone's taking charge and it's like, okay, this is the strategy
Yep.
we're gonna put forward. Let's do this.
Because that's the same when we played Heroes of the Storm ages ago on the, like, I finally uninstalled it off my computer because it
Yeah.
is getting to be a toxic game. But you'd get into games and people were like, what do you think you're doing? And I'm like, the one job I know how to, like, I'm killing stuff. What do you want me to do?
Yes.
Like, if I'm playing badly, instead of just yelling at me, legitimately be like, hey, be cool if you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you know that
What?
your character can do this and this? Or
Yeah,
make sure-
like
God.
yeah. So yeah, no, we had one guy in Anthem because Brian and I were on team chat
Yeah.
and we had the one other person who we had no idea. They stick you with a random.
They had chat too.
No, it does not, because we were in party chat.
Yeah, no, they had chat.
They couldn't hear us, and we couldn't hear them.
Yeah, when
It
you're
blocks it.
when you're in a party chat, your party chat.
So
is
either way, he just
prioritized.
kept pinging
Yeah.
things, and he's like over there, and it's like Brian and I are like running, and all of a sudden like we get attacked, and Brian and I are like panicking and shooting, and we're those guys that shoot around the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shotguns are useless because it just goes everywhere anyways.
No, so I got my kills. It was
Yeah.
just with a shotgun.
But either way, we're doing our thing, and
I'm
it's
a
like
sniper
I'm at
rifle
least
guy.
surviving, and this one person just drops down and starts matrixing everything, and it's like, oh, you're good at this. But like legitimately, they're like, okay, they figured out that Brian and I weren't the best, so it's like, okay, we'll go over this way now. Like they just kept pinging things because that's the cool part about this game is you can
say like we're going to this building next or whatever.
you can ping weapons, armor, all this. Like you
Chests.
click one button and it just points it out, and your character goes like, oh, there's body armor over here, level 2.
And they
And
say
you're like,
you could
sweet.
say
'Cause-
thank you
Yeah.
for doing
or
that.
okay
without
or,
actually having to speak to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can even say like people have been here already or
Yep.
something like that. It's actually really intuitive.
Yeah,
Apex, super cool.
super cool game.
You probably need.
So that's
PlayStation
all
Plus.
I've played.
You probably need
because
PlayStation Plus to play it.
You do.
I'm probably sure you need. But if you play it on the PC, you're fine. It's not that
Just
system.
Sign up for a EA account.
Yeah, it's
probably.
not that intensive.
Get Origin.
Yeah.
I assume.
That's what I play The Sims off of. I don't mind.
You have to. Yeah, you can't play it on Steam.
Yeah, that's
What else?
that's all I could play because I have
I said what else in
internet
general?
issues.
You
What
Done.
else? Oh my god.
Uh,
I'm not saying games, dude.
And
Just concentrate.
focus it. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
How was?
Is that
It's
fun?
a good movie.
Is it fun?
Okay.
Well, I already like their music, so
It looked
Well,
well. The
I
move,
think
the trailer.
you kind of have to.
The trailer looked fun.
If you're going into a Queen movie, you should
Well,
probably.
you could just like biopic movies.
I
Yeah.
guess so, but it.
But this
you know
movie
it's
also
Queen.
cuts out a lot of the other stuff too, like his cancer. What did he?
No, it didn't
Freddie
cut that
Mercury?
off.
No.
It was
What?
AIDS.
AIDS or like they cut something
It
else.
didn't cut that
No,
off.
where
What
the
did-
original movie, because
The original thought behind the movie was to be just a Freddie Mercury
Correct.
movie, but the
Okay.
guys
The band
said
refused.
no. Said no, this is a band movie.
Right.
well, because it's
I mean,
it is Queen.
It was, but he even made a comment in the movie.
Yeah.
Because they were part of an interview where he said, where one of the reporters asked, "So what does it feel like leading this group?" And he's like, "I'm not the leader. I'm just the lead singer." Like, it was a very group effort, and they made that very noticeable throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Now was
Like
that,
it was
that-
focused on him, but it was
I was gonna say, was that Freddie Mercury's personality in real life though? Like I don't.
yes,
know.
it was. It's not like it
Was it very much
sounded
him?
like it was a very team effort. Like they were
Okay.
totally.
Okay. Because I don't know much about.
Everyone
Freddie Mercury
wrote
other than
It's the
his
same.
name.
It's like
other than the name, I don't know his
It's kind of, I
personality.
think, like the hip. Like if you want to go Canadian with it,
Yeah.
like it's not like one person. I can't remember his name, but he just
George.
Gord Downey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon.
When he passed away, like it's not like it's like oh it's one of the members of it's like the hip are essentially because
Well,
they're a
Queen still
group.
goes. They have people that come in and sing.
I know they got the guy from American
Adam
Idol from
Lambert.
Adam who
Um,
legitimately has the right voice for Queen. You just have
Yeah.
to find someone who has the right vocals for Queen.
It's yeah. I mean, you don't realize, and I would love to know how much is truthful about their relationship with each other. But they were very they were a family.
Yep.
And that's also said in there where they fight, but they get along and they get what they need to do done.
Yeah.
And everybody wrote songs. Like the bassist wrote another one, "Bites the Dust," and then Freddie did Bohemian Rhapsody, and the other guitarist did the "We Will Rock You." Like
This
they
is
all
where the operatic section comes in.
they all contributed to.
The what?
Oh yeah, that was where he had because he was the drummer was doing the Galileo, and they kept repeating, and it's okay if I do this any higher, my balls are gonna get into my stomach.
So it looks like it's a fun.
It was a
movie.
good movie.
Cool.
He got nominated for a shit ton.
Yes, he got nominated. I don't think it won.
No.
I think I don't know.
Didn't he win?
He might have won. I think yes.
I think the guy who played
He
Freddie
won
won.
the lead.
Good for him.
The lead guy.
And again, people were mad because I think at the Academy Awards they had Queen and Adam Lambert perform the song.
'Cause I don't think the actual guy could sing because they actually said that he mostly did lip syncing, but he sung, but they mixed it with Freddie's voice.
Yeah,
so
which
it
makes
sounded
sense.
like it was.
But they're like, I don't know, because Queen's been traveling with Adam Lambert for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So why would you not have Queen, as it actually sits now, sing the song?
Mm-hmm.
But they were pissed because the lead actor didn't go up and sing, and it's like.
I don't think he has a great.
But Bette Midler went and did the Mary Poppins. Like, they didn't have anybody sing their own songs.
Mm.
And again, if you're going to get Queen, get Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even, again, you
I
can't get
think
Freddie
that-
Mercury, but the touring Queen show is Adam Lambert as lead singer.
I'm okay with that.
That's who you're getting. You have booked Queen.
Yeah.
I think people have this fine line that it's like, I've seen him on screen, so I need to see that on stage. I'm like, no, that's not it. Maybe that's what they're thinking, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a good movie.
Cool.
Maybe I'll rent it. That looks good.
That's on our list of stuff to rent. Yeah.
Especially if you love the music.
I have a free rental from Cineplex. So.
Well, I mean,
Ever
I
since
know they're.
Ever since the Mighty Ducks, who could
the
not
We Will
love,
Rock
we will rock you.
and We Are the Champions.
Yeah.
But you know those songs, and there's even they throw in like the one I just kind of picked up was Radio Gaga. Like,
Oh yeah,
I didn't really listen to that song ever,
Queen's got some good hits.
but now I do, and
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's why
It piqued my interest in.
I know
Oh, I
nothing
did
about
watch
songs.
another movie.
I know nothing about a lot
Oh,
of
wait,
music.
I can wait,
because, you know, again, I live back in the Stone Age of a lot of
I think we all do.
music.
I did
And
watch
also-
another
That's
movie.
the better stuff.
Huh?
That's the better stuff.
To be fair, every once in a while someone pops up with something on
And-
the radio and I'm like, damn,
and
that catchy.
Makes me more curious for that Rocket Man.
Oh, the Elton
I'm
John
super
flick?
excited.
I
for
already
that.
know. I already have a ton of Elton John on my stuff.
I'm
But-
excited
but
for
it
that
piques
Because
one.
my
again,
interest
Rocket
for that
Man is
movie.
a crazy good flick. Or a song, sorry.
I did watch another movie, but I'll wait until you. Go ahead.
Oh no,
I'm done.
Your movie.
All right.
I watched How to Train Your Dragon 3.
How was that?
It is exactly what you expect. It is a really
A
good,
good
movie.
movie.
I
It is very
love
good.
the first two.
They're
I
very
was
good.
excited for
I-
the third.
I do enjoy watching that movie and watching it and just thinking like where those movies came from and how well they don't age very well, like animation style. Because watching the first movie again recently before watching the third one, it's like, oh man, the DreamWorks learned how to do animation. Like
That is
Hic-
the
Hic-
problem with 3D
Hiccup's-
animation.
Hiccup's got hair now. The wind is on the wings properly.
I
It
think the
looks
TV show or the
Netflix show?
helped
Yes.
the transitions. And
It did as well, but overall the story is really, really well. That ends everything perfectly. This is the end. It explains why. I don't want to say it explains why there's no dragons in the world, but there is a solid ending to this series now.
Okay.
So it is the end.
It is the end of the
For
How to
sure.
the trilogy.
Until the How to Train Your Dragon.
The Train Your Dragon. the amazing How to Train Your Dragon. So yes, it's Toothless gets a girlfriend. The Night Fury and the Light Furies are together now, and yeah, it's really, really well acted. I kind of thought the movie was dark, like the color wise, it was a little bit more dark than I thought it was going to be. I'm not sure if that was maybe the theater that I was watching it in, or maybe the glasses that we were using that was kind of dimming the colors down. But it was gorgeous.
3D.
It was a gorgeous movie. It was so much fun. The story's there. It does wrap up Hiccup's storyline with not just his father, but with Astrid, with everyone else in the village. Everyone gets an ending, a happy ending for that matter too. So it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely go watch it. It is. If you liked 2, if you liked 1, I didn't care for the Netflix series at all.
I think I watched half an episode and I was like, not digging it.
No, it's not. It's not for me. But if you're into the How to Train Your Dragon
Movies.
series, like my fiance is, she binged all 5 seasons of it or whatever. She was like, yeah, I was super into it, and then I was ready for the movies. And the movies, I cried like a girl. I did. There's a couple scenes where it's like, oh, this is happening with these characters. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Definitely a seer. Go see it. I don't want to spoil too much of the characters because
Good, because I would do this.
most of it is just them. It's talking about the hidden world of the dragons. You saw it in the trailers. It's them trying to find
Spoilers.
that scene. There's not. I'm not spoiling anything. It's in the trailers. It's them looking for the hidden dragon.
If I didn't watch those trailers.
Well, then it's your fault for not knowing what.
Spoilers.
It's in the title.
Spoilers.
The hidden.
Spoilers.
I honestly did not know what the title was.
It's
There
how
you
to
go. Say spoilers.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Spoilers.
There's no number on it.
Okay.
It's just called.
Never
The
is.
World.
You're gonna confuse Nick.
No. This is Planet of the Apes all over again.
Which is weird because How to Train Your Dragon
Such
2 has
good
got a number
movies.
on it.
He doesn't know the order
They're
of
like
them.
new ones.
I've only seen the first one because every time I go to watch the second one, it's the first one again because I get the titles mixed up.
First world problems. First world problems.
I think it's Dawn and then War.
Well, we've had this
is-
discussion.
The way we've had this
Yeah.
plan.
Which one has
That's funny.
James Franco in it?
That's always
His
my
confusion
question.
is what comes before.
I need to find the
Rise
one
or
that
Dawn?
doesn't have James Franco in it, and then
Rise,
that's the.
Dawn.
If I start the movie
Yeah.
and James Franco's not there, I've succeeded.
Yeah. Yes, How to Train Your
I'm
Dragon.
pretty sure it's Rise, Dawn.
I don't. We'll figure it out. It's all good. They have James Franco's picture on the Google Play one now. I'm just waiting for the trilogy to go on sale. It's fine.
I think I bought the trilogy like on Black Friday a
Yeah.
year and a half ago or something like that.
Is
I
that
went
series
through
done?
They
Is the
were-
Rise
well,
of
no.
Apes
Wow.
done?
unless they do another one.
Okay.
But like it's one of those ones where I feel like Rise got a reasonable amount of hype when it came out.
Yeah.
Because people were excited that they were rebooting it in a way that wasn't garbage
That
like
wasn't
the
the
Mark
Tim-
Wahlberg
Tim
one.
Burton.
Tim
Yeah.
Burton one.
Yes.
And like it was legitimately a good movie, and then it kind of felt like Dawn and War happened,
Because
but
it was
there
a-
wasn't a whole lot. Of,
It almost felt like though they're obligated to make those other two.
well,
No.
and it
felt
kind
like
of felt under the radar, and then I went and I bought them because I was like, I liked Rise, and the other
It was a
two are- the
delightful
other two
movie
are-
all 6 times I have
know.
watched it.
I'm in the trap again. I'm watching this again.
The like the second and third ones, they were cheap, so I was like, I'll just buy them and
gotta
then
find the one
watch
that has
them.
got Woody
And I just
Harrelson in it.
delayed it, and then I finally watched them, and I was like, these are some of the best blockbuster movies that have come out in like the last decade. These are ridiculously well written, well paced.
Really,
like
eh?
I am surprised at how good these movies actually are.
How many are in Netflix?
I don't
One.
know. 3 of them are on my shelf. That's what I care about.
Oh.
4 if you count the Mark Wahlberg. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember if I own that one. I think I might.
I feel like I don't
I have
have.
them all except for the old ones.
See, Rise came first. It has Franco on it.
Yeah.
They've made it so it's Nick
Just
Pro-
for
it's
you.
Nick proofed.
Just for you.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we're good.
I even
I'm
told
safe.
him at the start of War. It goes through. It recaps briefly.
So if you briefly see James Franco, it's okay. What did I do though?
Yes.
Or-
yeah.
uh,
How to Train Your Dragon 3.
So
Good movie.
this is not something I've done in the past week. However,
Well, you haven't been here. So
I haven't
you,
been here
you
in a
get
while.
to break
Go,
the
go.
rules. It's
I
fine.
haven't been here in a while. I'm just gonna hit a few
Key
things
points.
today. First off, I don't know if last time I was here I talked about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina,
Kick butt
but
show.
I
Super
love
good.
that
Not
show.
yet.
I
So
have
good.
that is one like there are
that
shows I legitimately like on Netflix.
Yep.
That will take me a lot of time to finish them. Like there's shows I really want to watch, and it just takes me a while to get around to it.
Yep.
When I found out that a Christmas special for Sabrina came out, I was like, drop everything right
You must
now.
watch
I'm
show.
watching this show.
We did the
Oh.
same thing in this house.
Oh, so you didn't watch the regular show first and then the
Well,
Christmas?
no, he did. But
Oh
that's
no,
how
I
much you
did,
liked
but
it.
I didn't realize there was an 11th episode out until
Yes.
like a week and a half after it had been out, and I was
Oh.
like,
Oh, you missed.
when did
Oh,
this
I was super.
happen?
I was super ready for that.
And so I did that, and so watched it, and again, like fantastic
It was
show.
super good.
What I realized I love about the story of Sabrina, and it's what I realized I love about Good Girls as well. And I had a hard time trying to figure out the type of story. It's a plot of consequences.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shows out there, like Game of Thrones is the one that comes to mind, where like they're telling a story. It's a fantastic show that's telling a set story, and I love that. It's got an end point that it's going to,
I love that.
and everything's working towards that end. But when I was watching Good Girls for the first time, I watched the first episode, and the first episode wrapped itself up, and it was building into the next episode, and then that wrapped itself up and built into the next episode, and I was like, it's it's like a continuous story arc, but unlike Game of Thrones, where you know there's a specific endpoint they're working towards, it's more like dominoes falling.
What I like about Sabrina is that, to add on to that, is like they're not afraid to make the hard decisions for narrative stuff, for narrative purposes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that character's not going to do. Oh, he did it. What are the consequences? Yes.
But like in the first 2 episodes of Sabrina, it's telling a story. There's an obvious endpoint to what they're telling in those first 2 introduction episodes. But after that, it's a continuous story arc because it's a story of consequences. It's not there's an endpoint at the end of the season we're trying to get to. It's these are the decisions we made in this episode, and this is how it affects the next one.
episode,
Right,
yeah.
and then the next one, and the next one,
that.
and then the next one, and then the next one, and the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm super jacked that Sabrina is coming back with another 9 episodes in April.
I'm super disappointed as to when it's
Probably
coming
get on
out,
that.
but other than that,
Sabrina.
Should probably get on that.
See, and I was worried when Sabrina came out because my wife watches Riverdale,
oh yes,
and it is not the same show.
I've heard.
Yeah. So-
wildly different.
Good.
But then I was reading, because it's the same creator, same producer, same everything, and I'm like, no. And then they've literally come out and gone, we know that Riverdale is not what you guys wanted. Like, out of an Archie show. They're like, but we went to the CW, and we needed to make the show that they wanted so that they would put our stuff on TV. They're like, they're hands off for Sabrina, so get ready. And it's like,
Sidebar: is that show still on?
Riverdale?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably.
Really?
It will be
It's
for
huge.
15 seasons.
As it will follow in the trail of Supernatural.
Yep.
But Supernatural, that's a good show. That's a
Really?
good
Do you
show.
want to go through some of those seasons again there,
Let's not.
Tony?
Let's go 1 to 5,
Nope.
and then to
You
10
can't
and onwards.
do that.
You can't do that.
Yes, I
No,
can.
no,
Yes, I can.
no.
Yes, I can.
No.
Yes, I can. Those writers gave a shit after they hit the 10th season.
Yeah, Riverdale's doing stupidly well, so... no,
Okay,
it's
all
not-
right.
it's
I just
not
want to.
going.
I just want to know.
No, it's not going anywhere.
15 seasons.
15
Just waiting
seasons of a
for-
movie.
Waiting for Jughead to kill someone at this point.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
Betty's already a murderer.
15 seasons.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna
I was
watch
just
it.
gonna say,
I
Don't
will
watch
never
this
watch
show.
Riverdale anymore.
yeah, don't.
Okay, good.
Betty covers up a murder. Betty.
That sounds
goodie.
so dumb.
The goody
Not
goody.
Veronica.
Veronica, I can see.
If you're gonna go dark with Archie, yeah, sure.
That sounds
Veronica
so
goes
weird.
down that
Like
goes
let's
down
let's,
that path.
let's
but-
be honest. If we're going dark, you kind of half expect that Veronica is
Oh,
at
her
some
parents are
point
crime
gonna
lords. It's fine.
cover up a murder.
Her parents are crime lords in
Okay.
this show. It's fine. But Betty covers up a murder.
That seems
And
wrong.
Jughead's almost the leader of a gang.
Is it a gang of
See,
eating
the
hamburgers?
Hamburglers.
No.
Ah, I
do
don't
that.
like this show.
Betty's Gwen Stacy and Veronica is Black Cat. I can't remember.
Felicia Hardy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But again, it's because I watch it because my wife watches
By-
it, and
by proxy?
I'm by proxy watching it as I've got like one headphone in watching something on YouTube, and all of a sudden like Jughead is chained to a building on a hunger strike
What?
because they're trying to close down the South Side School.
Okay.
So and that's where all of the
Alright.
serpents go, which is the group
Okay.
he is. And
Okay.
so he's like chained himself to the school and as a hunger strike, so they can't tear it down. And his dad finally shows up after everybody else leaves, and he goes, "Dude, like I brought burgers for everybody, but apparently you're like the only one left. Like they're all yours." And you're like, "See, there's someone in that writer's room that knows what they're doing, because
Mhm.
that is a nod to Jughead.
Yeah.
He's got the dumb hat. Like the characters look like them, and then they say things and do things, and you're like, oh." Archie's gonna stop a serial killer in town? Neat.
What is this show
Archie's
even?
running after a guy with a gun? Super duper.
What is this show even?
It's Pretty Little Liars with the
Archie.
Archie paint. That's exactly how my wife's described it too.
To-
And again,
in-
my wife liked
In
Pretty
my
Little Liars,
defense,
so
I've
she
never
just
watched
likes,
Pretty Little Liars. I've never watched it. So
It's
I
a
would-
show with a person
do
going
that
around
either.
killing people, and they got to figure out who's doing it, and that's what Archie does.
Okay.
So they've taken one
Can I
show
just-
that ended, and now they've
Has it ended?
Pretty Little Liars is done yet.
I'll just watch Sabrina again.
And legitimately, that's what I was
Keep
afraid of when Sabrina was coming out. I'm going, oh no, she's gonna go solve crimes and other assorted
She could.
Nope.
No.
With magic.
She's going to
She's
cause
a
crime.
witch. It gets dark.
She's going to cause crimes.
Like I thought they were gonna Nancy Drew her and all, but make it
They
like
could
Dark
do
Nancy.
Nancy Drew.
They could do the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. I would totally watch those series on Netflix.
Well, let's
as a like modern reimagining of them. Because if you read those books now, boy, howdy.
let's keep those
I
in like
love
an
them.
emergency break glass. Let's keep those for the time being. Well, let's
I
do
like
the,
the
let's ride the Sabrina thing for a little longer.
Oh, for
first.
sure. But,
And then we'll go to those.
or legit do the Hardy Boys as they were written, like back in the 50s. The old cars that didn't go that fast, like they're having a street race, like they're chasing down a car, and it's like run faster. Essentially, like you're reading the book, and it's like he turned the corner going 20, and you're like, whoa,
Super fast.
whoa,
Slow down there, jet rocket.
yeah,
Except still do it completely modern.
yeah. Guy's in a Ferrari, like
He's just taking a.
He's taking it real
literally,
slow, yeah.
He's literally taking a turn. He's not even drifting.
yeah. Either way, Sabrina, solid show.
I agree.
Super duper show.
Fun.
Also watched the live action Beauty and the Beast finally.
Fine.
Good movie.
It's not bad.
I liked it.
I liked it for what it was.
I thought that
I
it
don't care
was,
what it was, I liked
worth it for the novelty of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I would never watch it again.
I
If
would
I'm-
watch. I would rather watch Josh Gad's scenes all over again.
Well,
Josh Gad scenes. Anytime he's on screen, he's
I'd
great.
watch that movie again.
I wouldn't.
I'd watch the original cartoon. Any other time I want to see Beauty and the Beast, I'd just go to the cartoon.
I think it followed too closely to the movie, and that's where the director's going, well, what songs do we cut? They were all good, and it's like, sure, but throw something different in and do something a little bit,
You can change the story a bit without cutting the songs.
Yeah.
Either way, decent enough for a watch, and I just the casting choices they picked were phenomenal, but going into the movie, I was like, I don't know who they're gonna get for Mrs. Potts. Can they possibly do it right? And then it was Emma Thompson. I was like, you did it right.
Yeah. I know.
Whoever they got for Gaston, spot on.
Luke Evans.
Luke
Yeah,
Evans was good.
Evans. He did really good for it.
Yeah.
For Gaston.
But yeah, all the voice actors essentially going in. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what are you getting for this? And it's like, oh, good. Obi-Wan Kenobi's going to chill out with Gandalf. Wicked.
Perfect.
Nick in.
They probably had a great time in the recording booth.
They don't record together.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think they will?
One at a time.
Ah.
One at a time in a booth with them and the director.
That's what I did love watching about some of the recording stuff for Star Wars Rebels, because a lot of that is actually done multiple mics in a room.
It's
in
cool
their own-
listening to voice actors. The guy who did, why can't I think
Well,
of his
DuckTales,
name?
they do it all. They do a lot of it together too. I bet.
No, that was a one-off. So that one where the three of them were together and David Tennant's like, oh my god. Because the three of them wouldn't shut up. That's why they don't do them together. Because Danny Pudi and Bobby Monahan and the guy who's done a ton of voice work, and I can never remember his name, the three of them would not shut up.
So they cast correctly.
Oh, yeah.
For
But they're sitting there
DuckTales.
like spouting nonsense, and David Tennant's like, can we record now? Like he's in a separate room, but still watching them, going like, guys.
I want to watch that clip again. That was
No, the guy who did Yakko,
Mhm.
his voice, who was originally Raphael and is now Donatello.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy. He's talked about it, and the Ninja Turtles, they got to do it together, and more and more and more. It is very separate, and he says it's tough. Like you can't feed off of anybody, which makes it difficult.
And I think really to do it together, you need the right chemistry and professionalism in the room together, because you can't have people making other noises while the other mics are on, right? You know, you
making faces at him.
you have to have the professionalism there so that it actually works from a technical perspective, because it is so much easier just to single one person out in a room, so you only have to worry about what noises that one person's making.
Yep. Well, especially with actors
Yeah.
who don't do it on a constant basis. Voice actors, totally. Throw them all in a room because they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to, again, not that Ewan McGregor can't act. I love Ewan McGregor, but, throwing him in a room with someone else and the two of them are trying to pull off it might not work as well.
Mm-hmm. It's just not an environment that they're used to.
Yeah. Either way.
So
The CGI threw me a little off in that movie, too. Like Beast.
a little bit, but still not too bad.
Not enough to throw me out completely,
No.
but it was one of those ones where I'm like, all right.
I think it would throw me off a lot more if so much of the environment wasn't CG, because
Yes, that helps.
you felt the blend.
Yeah.
But if it was like one CGI character in a natural environment, it'd be like,
It was probably easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably easier to edit too with everything in CG and just have
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson walking
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
Well, he was walking. The guy who played Beast was walking around, and then he had to film again to get the motion capture for his face. And they only did that for him because everybody else has had different flat faces or this or that going on.
Cool.
But yeah, and yeah, the stuff they added to the movie we were talking earlier, some of that stuff was nice.
The story
Mhm.
stuff was great. Yeah, adding more context to the world. World building almost.
as far as like the plague stuff goes,
That was just shocking.
I could have taken it or left it. It didn't really matter to me at all. But again, as talked about earlier, the one thing that I did think they did really well was just the whole everyone forgot about the
castle.
people and the place of this
Special,
castle, and it gave a reason why everyone was like, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" I liked that little touch.
Yeah.
It didn't take much. It was just
was a
kind
one-line.
of
It
a
was a
quick
one-line.
throw-out line.
But it works.
Exactly.
It works so well.
Well, and then if you rewatch it at the beginning of Belle's
I remember that.
song, she runs into that guy and she's like, "Well, are you looking for something?" And he's like, "Yeah, just can't quite remember what it is." It's his wife. He's lost
It's
his
the-
wife and does not
Right.
remember her.
Miss Potts, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, I had no idea that was
That was a
one of
payoff.
those- someone
That was a payoff.
someone throws that in online and you're like,
Oh.
whoa. And then you sit there going, "Man, that poor writer," because I had that right over my
Yep.
head.
Oh, see, I totally caught that.
Nope, not
When
a.
I-
It's that I was happy he
I
found
don't.
his wife at the end, but I never caught on that was that line that he throws out where he's
Well,
like,
it's like on the other
"Yeah, it was
end
the other
like
end of the movie."
2-hour, 15-minute
Yeah.
movie or something.
It was a
like
good
that.
payoff.
If you caught it, it's an excellent payoff. Or for me, it's a good payoff because I'm just like,
Oh yeah, that makes much more sense.
someone was thinking in that writing room.
Yeah.
I want to go to a writer's room one day and just watch them do their thing.
Right.
Apparently, it's really aggressive.
It depends on the writer's room.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes I think that the payoffs that you only get on the second watching
Oh, totally.
are some of the best.
Yeah. Or the 18th time you've seen something and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, that's
Basically, any Edgar Wright film.
But the ones where you have to know what's going to happen in the movie, and then
Yeah.
those like little lines stand out. and
Stick
it's
out.
like, ooh.
I think Hot Fuzz
Well
maybe.
played.
I think Hot Fuzz is the best movie for that for me, because everything in that movie is a build up to that last half hour of that movie.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever jumped in the air with two guns saying, "Ah"? No. 2 hours later, or like hour later, "Ah!" Or it's like, who's gonna arrest me? Like everyone's got guns. Who? Everyone and their grandma. And the grandma's got a gun at the end of the movie. I'm like, what the? All right.
I feel like that one is less subtle though.
But like,
less.
That's
but like
one of the ones
but
where it's like,
all
okay,
the
pretty
entire
much
movie.
everything in
But
this
like-
movie is going to come back.
Yeah.
But like, it's done so executed so well. I like Hot Fuzz. It's my island movie.
Hot Fuzz is one that I have not seen in a very, very long time. I'm holding off because the first time I saw it, absolutely loved it. Laughed the entire time. Every other time I've seen it, it's like,
I still
I
laugh.
anticipate the jokes. They're not as funny. So I haven't actually seen the movie in like 15 years or something like that.
I still
I'm
laugh.
almost primed to see it again because I've forgotten a lot of the jokes.
That one of
I
those ones
still-
where you can watch it with someone who's never seen it before and watch them more than you watch the movie.
Oh, that's one of those.
Never experienced.
That's one of those movies. I tried
Like I
to
did
do
that with Brian in Blazing Saddles the other night because he had never seen
The whole
Blazing
time, yeah.
Saddles, and it's you're sitting there like casually. It's like watching Brian out of the corner of your eye, like.
Have I seen Blazing
This
Saddles?
is
I don't think I-
good joke,
There's
this is
a
good joke.
music video I need to show you when we're done all this.
Yeah.
That is my exact video where I do this every time. It's a music
to watch
video
it.
where it's like, let's turn this on. And I'm waiting
Yeah.
for the chorus to kick in, and it's like, is it going to be the expression everyone has? Yes, it is.
I don't think I've seen Blazing Saddles. Now that you mention it out loud.
What?
Yeah,
I should
eventually.
totally watch Blazing Saddles.
I own it.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's great.
I own 12 copies of Blazing Saddles.
Why?
I have the digital and the DVD, and then like I bought it on DVD previously, but then I got the Mel Brooks collection because that was the only way to get certain movies of his at the time. Like before digital came out, so I
Yeah.
had Blazing Saddles, and then I got the collection. And of course, if you're getting a Mel Brooks collection, they're throwing in. I think I couldn't get Robin Hood Men in Tights at the time
You're asking how many times I've
without
bought
buying the collection.
That's a surprising one.
I
Actually.
know.
I figured that would be one of the easier ones to
You
find.
should ask how many times I've purchased Metal Gear Solid 3.
How about Resident Evil 4?
Surprisingly, only once.
Yeah, me too.
Twice.
Once.
Oh wait.
I have every version of Metal Gear Solid
I'm
3.
not getting it not for a third time.
I might get it.
I think that the only games I've purchased multiple times are the first and second Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Final
it.
Fantasy VII's coming out on the Switch.
I don't care about Final Fantasy 7 anymore.
I never actually played it. So.
It's a great game. Doesn't age well though.
I have 2 episodes left in season 3 of Daredevil.
I have all of the episodes left in season.
Me too.
We can talk. I finished
Did you
it.
like
It's
the first 2 seasons?
Yes.
Then the 3rd season is still just as good.
I've
I
heard
think it's
good-
better.
I've heard good things.
I almost think it's better.
Like,
I think I almost think it's better.
Ah.
We should leave them alone.
I agree that it's better than season 1,
Yes.
but I'd have to say it's a very tight competition between it and season 2 because just the way that
Punishers.
Murdoch and Castle play off of each other in
Yeah,
season
you're
2
right.
and the way
That's
it
good.
develops both of their characters, like that's
I
so
lo-
good.
I love the fall of Murdoch, that character from Defenders, and him trying to rise up
Yeah.
again in 3.
I
I loved that so much. There's a scene where he's trying to learn his powers again, and it's just that it's the
Spoiler.
I'm not saying which scene it is, but that scene, you know what scene that is.
It's in season 3.
I don't know, there's a few of them.
Wait, what? There's
also
a season 3 of
there's
Daredevil.
also season 4. But
Hulu.
it's like that rise and like him trying to learn his powers again. It's just it was so
I like that you
it's
just
so
like,
satisfying.
You totally called it. They announced it. You called it. Yeah.
Oh, he called it first.
Also,
Did he?
Oh yeah, everything was dying.
That doesn't surprise anyone. That doesn't surprise me.
Well, no, it did. Like, in all, what got canceled first? Iron Fist. Yeah, that was
no, Luke. Yes,
Oh,
Iron Fist.
which
Iron
was
Fist.
not surprising.
Luke Cage, not surprising, following after.
Well, but again, Luke Cage got canceled, and we're still sitting there going, "Well, that's fine. Heroes for Hire." They've
Yeah.
canceled
As soon as
2
Daredevil
shows where
dropped-
the 2 can go into one character.
As soon as Daredevil dropped, everyone knew.
As soon as Daredevil was gone, we were.
Everyone knew what?
Everything
done.
else was done. You're not going to continue
Oh, yeah.
Punisher and Jessica Jones without Daredevil.
That
But what did
He called it that they were all going to get canceled. And whatnot.
Oh, because I called it.
Yes.
Like back in about a
I
year
know.
ago. That
Oh, they were all gonna come out. We
we
mentioned
were
that
gonna see every
constantly.
single
Yeah.
season.
that 10-minute prison scene, so cool.
Yes.
But yeah, we mentioned that constantly,
Yeah.
where it was like Ross was right as they announced the last one coming out. We're like, Ross
just
nailed it.
Jessica Jones coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you said Daredevil was going to come up by the
No, we were
year.
getting all 5 in
Yeah.
1 year, and we
Yeah.
got all 5 in 1 year.
That
Probably
prison
because they
scene-
knew they were going.
Oh,
they
that
were
prison
going
scene
to.
was just something else. It wasn't one shot. It was
Oh yeah, that one.
clearly wasn't one shot,
Yeah.
but it was filmed like
Are
it
you
was
talking
one shot.
season 2?
3.
There's a couple.
Spoilers.
But
I've told you about this one giant scene before.
Yeah, but you never said where it was. Now I go
in a
out to
prison.
spoiler prison.
everyone knew they were gonna do it though because they've done it in every season
Yes.
of.
Well, yeah, it's a long shot, but I
Yeah.
didn't know where it was.
Oh no, I agree with that. Spoilers.
Whatever.
But yeah,
Watch the damn show. It's so fucking good.
Watch
Absolutely
Sabrina, watch
loving-
Daredevil. You guys are so demanding.
absolutely loving season 3. Can't wait to watch the last
I
couple
can't
of
wait.
episodes.
Can't wait to see season 4, guys.
And finally, I have been playing a video game that is not MechWarrior Online.
Yes, do
I'm-
it. Do it. Just have them
Disney
wave
Channel.
the wands. Have them wave the wands, and it's Matt Murdock doing this because he can't see anything.
What is your game other than Mech Warrior?
I'm super up on the times and have just recently started playing NHL 19.
I'm still playing 2018, so
I have not played a hockey game.
hockey.
This is my first.
I've
this
not
is
played
my,
any hockey game.
This is my first hockey game that I've played since 13, I think.
Yeah.
Whenever there was GM mode online, because I remember those times.
What the?
I do remember the type of hat that Reimer always was. Spoilers, it was an ass hat.
So NHL
Anyway,
19.
been playing a whole bunch of NHL 19, and
Hockey.
I've started 3 different franchise modes. And
Was that the year that McDavid was on the cover, or was it?
No, Subban.
Subban. Okay.
Guy-
McDavid
Yellow.
was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I have.
This is the year that everyone was very angry at EA for one of the many reasons everyone's always angry at EA, but they heavily advertised that you can play the current stars with the legends of the NHL, which is not wrong.
But it's
in Hockey Ultimate Team. Is
What's
the
that mean?
thing,
Yeah, what does
and
that
it's
mean?
their online mode. It's a very specific online multiplayer mode that you can you collect the cards and you can like blend current players with legend
you can have
players
your fantasy teams,
and
basically.
Exactly, and even
But it's only online.
Even offline, you can play some specifically set up legendary teams. So you can play like an all-time Western All-Stars and an all-time Eastern All-Stars and some teams like that. But you cannot in offline create a roster that mixes the legends and the current players. Like even when you're going in and creating a team, and you can go and just grab whatever players you want off of anything to create your roster. Doesn't matter. You can turn the salary cap off. I have one team that I made them up, and they're like $120 million over the cap limit.
That sounds about right.
So that's Lucic's salary covered.
There we go. But even though you can play that team against the legends in just like a drop-in quick play game, you cannot put your legends on that team. I understand that you can't put the legends into franchise mode. They were saying that they were having some kind of like issues with the way that works with the system. Fine. They have the aging system in play. You can't put a character who's like 100 years old onto your team and make it work out well or something.
Time travel is weird.
I've seen old timer games.
And even so, like with the logistics of trying to do a franchise mode, I can understand how that would kind of break the logistics of the game, because you'd have to do it in some way where like you have like Wayne Gretzky is a free agent, and it's like, okay, I'll sign Wayne Gretzky. I don't know. Like I can understand that not making sense, but I want to be able to put McDavid and Gretzky and Curry on a line together in just like
You go with Curry on that?
Why not?
Why not Crosby? Crosby.
You could do Messier too. Whatever, doesn't matter. And like, I want to be able to put them on a line together and just have a one-off drop-in game and be like, "Ha, this is fun," but you can't do that
unless you're online.
You can you can't even do it as a drop-in game online. You can only do it specifically in the Hockey Ultimate Team mode. You can collect. You can collect some of the legend stars as well as collecting mascots in the Threes circuit.
Yeah, Threes.
So it's like the arcade mode, and it's like, oh, I'm playing with a couple of mascots and also
Threes is
Fedorov.
amazing. For
Also
arcade hockey.
Oh yeah.
See, I would play arcade hockey more than realistic
Threes, there are no rules. Brian and I have played threes to the point where like we just started checking people because it was easier than. We're just like, if we take two of them out, there's only one of them to score. Like they don't even have the puck, and you're just like, bye.
At what point do you like shift them?
You can't shift them because you can't actually get injured in threes. Yeah.
Aww.
So yeah, you're very limited in how you can use the legendary players, and that's disappointing.
Do you think that might be like a
that is part of how they
licensing?
sold that game?
Yeah,
with the
we're
legends,
bringing the
like,
legends
yeah.
back,
And
and
outdoor
again,
hockey.
they didn't.
And outdoor hockey.
They didn't lie about it.
It's just not.
It's just, yeah,
Twisted the
it's
truth.
not as
interwoven as
exactly, and that part's very disappointing. And you end up getting people playing the game who want to put
5, 4. There it is.
Wonder how long that was off for.
Not long. I keep checking.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Paines.
Maybe a couple seconds.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
never
well.
long. Either way, yeah, like I play MLB The Show
One
the
of
same
these.
kind of way because there is a fantasy team thing where you get collect cards, and I'm like, this is an easy way of doing this because the GM mode, I'm like, too much,
No.
especially with baseball.
You can set it to.
You can set it to auto, but like that's half the fun of GM mode is.
Is it?
Can I get
being
like?
the GM.
Come on, can I do this? Can I make this
Yeah.
trade? Can I get this player?
But I don't understand baseball well enough to do it, and then hockey for whatever reason, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. No.
Simple. Just give me a play the season.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah, and I'll do the franchise mode. where I
I'll
just
play a tag game when they make it.
tag.
Yeah. You ever? Yeah, actually, I linked you guys the video. It's a tag.
Oh,
The tag
I've seen
championship.
that. Yeah.
The tag championships.
But yeah, NHL, they're solid games.
Mm-hmm. And you know, now there's been enough outcry that I'm sure NHL 20, you'll
They'll-
probably be able to use the legendary players more, and I'll be like, you're a game too late. I don't care.
So EA, I know you watch our show.
Clearly.
Clearly, everybody does. So I just have one request: don't put Austin Matthews on the cover, please, because otherwise Chris is not getting it. So
Or any Toronto guy. Just don't put Toronto.
all right,
Who's Austin
he
Matthews?
plays for Toronto. He's
Oh,
the
okay.
Connor McDavid from Eastern
Or
Canada.
Carlson.
Maybe Carr.
Carlson.
Put a goalie on there.
They have gone Western players the last 2 seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an Eastern guy.
They should put it.
So
as a
what? Carlson
vote.
anyway. Carlson's great.
But does the
Hedman.
vote actually matter though?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
don't
would
know.
put Stamkos.
Because I've seen them put votes
Whatever.
up for sports covers before.
Yeah, it works.
Put
I haven't done a goalie in a while.
put
Do a
Elliott
goalie.
on there.
That's what Tony was just saying. Put a goalie on.
Elliott.
Goalie, someone different.
If you're gonna
Belfour.
put a goalie, on all honesty, you probably put Fleury
You
Yeah.
would.
because
Yeah.
it supports the expansion team.
Oh, is
He's
he
a
part
great
of
character guy anyway.
Is he
so,
in Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you go Price.
Yeah.
Put
I'm- I'm a
Seattle
little-
on the
I'm
cover.
a little
Or-
surprised that Price hasn't made it onto a cover yet.
Or Lundqvist because he's
Seattle's
probably
gonna be
gonna
the new
retire
team.
soon.
Ooh,
There's a new
plus
team now?
he did
Another
also
one? When?
win the breakaway challenge at the All-Stars. That
2021
was
maybe?
pretty
I don't
mad.
know.
No.
I don't know how
Little
long those things
bit
take.
of a bonus.
When's Seattle coming in?
2020.
Not soon.
It's not.
Are they actually doing a Seattle
Yes.
expansion team?
It's
Cool.
Wow.
Cool.
32 teams now.
20. So it won't be next season. It'll be the season after.
And we have to give them like a player
A
from our
player.
A
team.
player. We get to lock down so many, and then we have to give them
They-
the
oh,
person they
They
ask
get
for.
okay.
That's not locked. So clearly, like
McDavid.
We're keeping
gonna lock-
McDavid
yeah.
and Draisaitl.
What about Cassian? Oh.
You
Could
only
be
get
a-
so many.
Oh.
Yeah.
Legitimately, that's the point of the because otherwise you're gonna lock everybody down except for Bob,
Yeah.
or you're gonna sign Bob to a contract, lock everybody else down. And it's like you can have Bob,
Bob's cool.
and I'm Bob. Like
I'll tell you what. There are the 3 franchise modes that I started.
Yeah.
One of it, which was just I'm starting with the Oilers as is.
Yep.
And I'm gonna play as the Oilers. I have not played that far into it.
Yep.
The second one I did was an expansion draft.
That's kind of fun, isn't it?
I had fun doing the expansion draft, and legit for the Oilers, I took Cassian. I was like, I want Cassian on my team. I think I have Cassian on every single team
I
I've
love
created.
that guy. I love that guy. He's so wild. He's so crazy.
He's a character.
He is.
Ah!
He's
no-
fun.
He's no
Right?
pool, he's no pool party, but
Pool party's gone for this
I
season.
know he's gone.
He's
for
probably
the season.
gone forever.
Yeah, I think
He's the kind of guy that you'd like to party with.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Cassie.
Yeah.
Ooh, because you will drink.
Well,
That's
you don't
all
have-
right.
You don't have to drink to have a party. You just have a party.
He hunts, doesn't he? Like he's.
I don't know.
I think that was him. I don't know. There's one of them that came
No,
back.
that
with-
was,
oh, who was
He
that?
hunts sharks. I know that.
Yeah.
No,
And ducks.
that was
And ducks.
the other guy, big guy
Basically any animal.
Defenseman that hunted.
Clef Boone?
No, he's not on our team anymore.
I know.
Did we lose Clefbaum?
No, the guy.
The
that
guy
hunts,
we're trying to think of.
The guy that hunts.
I don't know anyone.
I forgot who he was.
I don't know
He's a big
the
guy.
enough hockey
Yeah.
stuff.
Hockey!
I just know like select characters or
Puck
players
goes
from.
in.
I'm probably
Puck
not gonna
goes in.
remember his name.
Where do I king me?
You wrong game.
Oh, okay.
That's football.
Oh, right. Which kind?
Both.
God, I waited forever for an NHL Street.
I know. It's legitimately like hockey always gets shafted because it is in the States.
It's not that big.
Other than certain states, it's nothing, right?
There's no
Yeah.
baseball street.
They did NBA was the first, and
Yeah.
then they did NFL,
Fell.
and then they did FIFA, which was a terrible idea because
Yeah.
nobody cares about FIFA.
Unless
Not
you're-
street, like
Well,
legitimately.
if you're in Europe, unless you're in Europe, yeah,
but then
Yes.
it's not street hockey. They
regular football.
play football.
They have Pro Evolution. They have.
But I wanted to see like pavement street hockey. Maybe
Yeah.
there's one level where like
Again,
everyone has
Mighty
to
Ducks.
stop and move the net for cars.
Intermission.
Yeah, the car. Yeah, moving for the car. Well, that's like I even got into it with a coworker yesterday about the NFL and CFL and stuff because, again, she's a giant cheesehead. So we cheer for the same colors because her football team is.
Well, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but yeah. So she's in there. So I've seen she said something and I'm like, excuse me, doesn't have like the extra 10 yards and has 4 downs instead of 3. Like,
Easy mode.
Yeah, and she's all like, Mister has like a 30-yard end zone, and I'm like, it snows here, and we need the extra room for the snow piles. Thank you very much. And she's like, I'm from Green Bay. It snows there too, and it's like,
But does it snow as
like.
much?
It's nice having someone on staff that knows sports because no one else does.
I know.
Yeah.
I finally get that feeling.
It's like
I always-
legitimately, it's like
I'm
even,
the other
even
side
the
of
tidbit of
this.
it where I'm just like,
Too far that guy.
I am that guy.
you're the one that
I am-
doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm the guy at work where people can talk about hockey, and it's like, I have watched some games of hockey recently.
Yeah.
I know some player names.
Did they
This
score a
hockey
field
is
goal?
fun.
I see you're a man of culture.
I'm not that bad at hockey. You've heard
I
me
know.
actually explain some of the rules, and I was like, did I do that?
I still, and I agree with you on this. Like, I don't know why they use shitty ass like cameras for the lines when we have such a high definition camera
What, for
recorder.
those the offside stuff?
Yeah.
They don't. You don't get to see it.
Oh no, the offside reviews when they're like showing it. I
You
know.
don't get
looks-
to see those cameras.
Yeah, we do.
They showed them on TV.
Yeah, they do. They just look
Michelle
like
gets to see them.
they look
I
like
get that.
they look like a 480p resolution.
Yeah,
screenshot.
whatever they're showing off TV is not
Dumbed down.
well, but still, it's not pretty. But then don't show me those
Don't
because
do
if that's what I'm thinking, the NHL.
You also have fans right there, so that might kick them.
I get that, but then get rid of them and
don't show it at all.
to the heck with the offside challenges.
No, I agree with that.
Or no, they should keep the cameras, but then just don't show.
There's
it
a
to us.
reason why they put the offside challenge.
I get it. I know.
Because the blue line is back here. The guy is way up here,
I know.
past it, and it's not called offside, and he goes in and scores a goal.
See, and that I'm okay with, but you don't need a camera at the blue line to.
But they wouldn't have, without the review, it's
I
a good
know.
goal. That's why they did it.
Sports.
Sports.
I know enough about sports.
Do you?
That was me. I'm done.
Cool.
That's all the things I've done.
That's
No
all the things you've done for
I
now.
listen
We'll
to
check
a
into
bunch
you
of
next
metal.
year.
It has nothing to do with
We'll check in
what
with you
we
next
talk
year
about
then.
here.
In 365 days. We'll check in with you later.
No, 3 months is like his.
I'll probably either still be playing NHL 19 or have moved back to
Mech
MechWarrior Online.
3 months.
Exciting. Exciting times. Exciting.
Excellent.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Post Credit Show.
Yes.
If you like what you saw here, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Smash the like button. Smash it.
The follow button.
Smash
things.
Smash the bell button.
All the buttons. Click them all.
Except
and
for
then
the flag. Except for the flag.
Don't
Don't
hit the flag.
hit the flag.
And then when you're done, go to barrelrollnews.com for all of our social media links so you can talk with us and spend more time with us. And do all
Share
of
with
that
your
kind of
friends. Watch your videos. Our videos.
Mhm.
Everything.
stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.